What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. And this podcast is brought to you by Merrick Health. And if you go to merrickhealth.com/RBP, you're going to see two blood panels of mine. One is a guided optimization, and the second is just a blood panel. Now, if you click on just the blood panel, you're going to get everything you need. And at checkout, you're just going to put code RBP and you'll get that blood panel for $108. So it's a small price to pay to get checked and make sure that you're trending in the right direction and you're healthy so that your body can grow and do what it needs to do while you're bodybuilding. So, guys, get to merrickhealth.com/RBP or just go to merrickhealth.com and use code RBP at checkout. Get the blood panel done, get your health checked, get your hormones checked. Make sure that everything is moving in the right direction so you can keep growing and keep getting better on the way to your goals.
It's super hard.
All right, so Akim just told me he's got a degree in computer science, but has trouble using his iPhone.
I'm telling you, man, technology is advancing so fast. I can't keep up, bro.
Well, how'd you get your computer science degree then?
C++, those type of languages back then. Now they're on to like fucking alien language now. I can't even keep up anymore. Or maybe as part of me doing bodybuilding, I just got dumber over the years. I don't know.
But aren't you a professor?
Professor? No.
A professor's assistant? What is it that you do? I forget. You told me.
No, I was an undergrad at counseling. Believe it or not.
Counsel. Okay.
Yeah. I went to school for computer science. I got a bachelor's degree in computer science.
Okay.
But I never really used that damn thing.
So you're a counselor. This is good because we all need help. So you can help us now. We're all a little fucked, especially Ian's the most fucked.
So
What's going on?
Hey, I did learn how to blur out my background, so I got some skills there. You saw that?
damn.
You learned how to what? Blow up your back?
Blur out the back. Blow out backs, bro.
No, I blurred out the background.
Oh, blurred out the background. I'm like,
yeah.
There's blown out backs already.
No, I ain't blowing out no backs. No.
You learned how to do that in college too.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
That's
Akim, are you married?
No. I got engaged once, but that didn't work out.
What happened?
We went separate ways. We had a different idea of what being in a relationship was about, I guess you could say.
Can you explain that? Is it a touchy subject, or can we find out the inside scoop?
It's not a touchy subject, but
How long ago was
It's like
it?
it's relatively personal.
Hey, if you're on Bro Chat, you got just hit.
No, it's been about 2.5 years now since we parted ways. About.
Okay, so you were together for a long time, then you got engaged.
We got engaged.
And then how long were you engaged for?
I want to say about 2-3 years, maybe.
Oh, that's a long engagement.
Hey! I'm black. We take our time.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
engagement, Fouad, didn't you know?
We take our time, bro.
Take our time. All right, so 2 or 3 year engagement.
Uh-huh.
And then what was the deciding, like what happened where you're like, fuck this, I'm out?
Yeah, we just thought we didn't see eye on certain things, and we still friends to this day. We're still good friends and stuff like that, but just didn't work out.
Did you live together before you got engaged?
Yeah.
Okay. I always wonder because sometimes people say like you don't really know somebody until you live together.
Definitely true. When we moved in together, it was a little rough at first, but then we kind of got used to it.
Was she in the bodybuilding world too?
Yeah, she competes. She's a pro also. Yeah.
Oh, that never works.
Yeah.
Except for Ian. He's the only one.
My marriage got a lot better when we both retired, though. Or one of us retired.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me that I can't remember who the fuck it was. I think it was. Oh, I can't say his name. Anyway, it's a younger guy. He's got a girlfriend that wants to compete.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, don't encourage her. And he's like, why? I think it'll be great. I'm like, it's not going to be great. I'm like, it seems like it's going to be great. And then when it happens, you're like, fuck, I wish I never encouraged her. I'm like,
you're
now,
asking for body dysmorphia for the rest of your relationship.
I'm like,
that too, and everybody's always fighting for attention.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I was getting at. Because I'm like, listen, right now it seems great. You're going to eat. She's going to cook your chicken. You guys are going to eat together. You're going to train together. You're going to fucking do cardio together.
Mm-hmm.
But she's also going to want all the attention because she's in prep and she's tired and she's working. And you're like, sometimes you just want to be taken care of.
Yeah.
So
That could definitely be hard. You're gonna be fighting over eggs and all this other shit. Chicken breast. Yeah.
Eat my fucking chicken.
Exactly.
but yeah, Ian's right too. There's also, and so I said this a little while ago, and somebody said, "Well, men don't handle steroids well either," and I'm like,
No.
I don't think they do, but I think it's a lot worse for women.
You know, it's funny. I never had that issue, man. I always hear people talking about like mood swings and all this other shit. I never had that problem.
Yeah, but you seem like you're just a mellow guy naturally.
Yeah. I never had that problem. Only thing, like when I get really prep, I don't talk much, and then they think something is wrong.
Yeah.
I get like that when I'm like deep in
That's
prep.
how I would. That's how I would be too.
Yeah, unless it's something important, like you could be able to get 2-3 words out of me, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's my biggest problem. Is like I don't talk a lot.
Yeah.
I remember me and my wife would be sitting in the same room, and it was like I was by myself. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
She'd be sitting on the couch right there, and I'm like,
you wouldn't. She wouldn't be around.
There would be no connection at all.
Yeah.
Because you're just like too many anti-estrogens.
You're just existing.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there like in my own fucking head.
Yeah, you get super quiet.
Yeah, but a lot of guys do get aggressive and do get mood swings and do get all that shit. Actually, here's one of them now. He's just about to join us here in a second. If his Dell was warm enough.
Fucking roid rage Paul over here. You know,
Paul has got serious roid rage problems. He's you wouldn't believe it by looking at him, but I'm telling you, in private, he fucking goes off.
You think
peaceful?
You think he's purple in the face now? Wait till you see him fucking real fired up.
I'm peaceful.
Wait till he lets loose.
He looks like he look like he got a really nice tan out in Pittsburgh, man.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
that's
some
just
sun there.
His natural hue.
He's just naturally red. That's it.
Well, I drove there with the sunroof open, so I did get some rays.
Oh sure.
Yeah, I can tell.
Akim notices. You guys.
He's been this color forever. He's in denial about his 180 over 140 blood pressure. You know.
Paul joins the second he gets on, just starts getting fucking blasted.
Oh yeah, I'm used to that. That's fine.
See, if you wouldn't show up late, you'd just join in the fun, but you show up late, so you just get pelted.
I went to the movies. I brought the kids to the movies.
Where'd you go?
Don't go see Thunderbolts. It sucked.
Did you go see Sinners with your kids?
No, I went and saw Thunderbolts. It fucking sucked.
What's Thunderbolts?
So disappointing. It's a Marvel movie.
Oh, okay.
I thought they were giving that movie very high ratings, so then I don't have to go see it then. Yeah, I don't have to go see it then.
It was horrible, man. I kept waiting for something to happen. Nothing happened.
You know, it's funny. They're about to drop the prices in the AMC in July for movie tickets.
Really?
So they're going to be super cheap,
Yeah, this was really cheap. It was like $5 each or something.
Yeah, there you go. So $5 you're not going to miss.
Yeah. Tuesday night, cheap movie night.
Akim needs money to fuel his Corvette.
Yeah, I can't go to the movies. Gas prices are too expensive, man.
Got to put that 100 octane, you know?
Yeah.
Akim, are you a movie guy?
Yeah, I'm a movie guy. I went to go see Sinners. I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good too.
Yeah.
Mike hated it.
Yeah.
Really?
I think he texted the group after. He's like, "No one go see it. It's fucking dog shit." And I'm like, well, "That was all right." But
I thought it was good. I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I want to see it.
Where is it? Akim, where's your money pit?
There
it is.
My car.
I'm gonna get something. I'm gonna get one.
Akim needs a cheap ticket so he can afford this car.
Yeah. See. Yep. Get the protein.
Yeah.
Product placement.
Buy Akim's protein so he can afford his vet.
Yeah. Everybody got there and support Musclemeds and buy a ton of product. God knows I needed to support that car.
Code BK Beast.
Wait a minute here. I think everybody needs to be buying HOSSTILE. I don't even have that. I need one first before you fucking.
You got 15 motorcycles. You're okay.
Yeah.
Do you have anything done to that, Akim, or is it stock?
I didn't do anything to it yet. You know,
not yet.
I was thinking about changing the exhaust, but
that thing's loud as fuck already.
Come on, Fouad. You always need it louder, man. You always need it louder.
No, honestly, Akim, I think as I get older, I'm okay. I think I'm good. Yeah. That car sounds great stock though. Come on.
It sounds great. It sounds good. That's why I haven't done it yet. You know.
Yeah.
Because I was watching YouTube last time. I saw this guy did his, and he changed the exhaust, and it sounded like a Lamborghini. It sounded like the SZJ.
Oh yeah,
It sounds just like it. I was like, holy shit.
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But a full exost for that car has got to be.
I know it's like about $6,000.
Buy the protein. He needs the full exhaust.
None of this catback shit. We need the full thing.
Yeah.
Seth, what are you doing? Are you going to get a sports car or what?
I was talking to Ian this weekend about it.
Yeah.
I was with I didn't know. I had no clue how much you could do to Corvettes and Camaros.
Oh my God, yeah.
With that LS.
I did not know, so I started diving into YouTube videos. Same thing, like learning about it. Camaros and Corvettes are fucking ridiculous,
and the parts are cheaper than going foreign cars.
Okay, but can I just pause for 1 second? Seth, if you get the ZR1, you don't need to do anything to it. It's already like 1,000 horsepower.
No. We're not doing that. I'm not going to go overboard first time. I'm going to fuck this car up.
What are you going to get?
No, instead of getting 1,000 horsepower car, he's going to get a 500 and make it 1,000.
Yeah, like I
makes sense.
Like it's different.
No.
You got to start somewhere.
Seth, trust me, and Akim could probably vouch for this because he's done the same thing I've done. I've done a lot of mods on a lot of cars, a lot of trucks. You can never build a car yourself the way it comes from the factory, ever. I don't care unless you take it to like a professional builder, like a Hennessy or like somebody like that.
Yeah.
So
minor things like I'm not going to go out by a C8 Z06.
Why?
Hey, come on.
I'm not ready for something like that.
Why?
Man.
I don't know. I'm just, I don't know if it fits what I want to do yet. I really like the C6s. They look fun. You know what I mean?
I would, if that's the case, then try to go for the C7 instead.
Yeah, the C7. If you're gonna go older, go C7.
Yeah, C7. Yeah.
I'm tinkering with it because I'm so indecisive. You guys know this. I can't make my fucking mind up.
No, you can't. You're actually really bad though.
I know. So I got to take my time and find something. I got to, put my hands.
Okay, but can I just go ahead, Akim? Go ahead.
I would go for the C7 because it still look modern enough.
Yeah.
It still look relevant enough.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of mods, and if you want to mod it, there's a lot of things out there that you can do to it. Yeah,
the C6 is really bare bones. It's like it's gross inside. At least the C7, like the interior's nice and shit. But
and a cool thing about that car is there's a secret compartment in that car.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah.
You got that James Bond window.
I used to hide my gun in there.
Yeah.
Nice. I like it.
Where you're riding dirty.
Yeah.
Listen, Seth, I'm just going to tell you this. Okay, I know what you want to do, but I'm telling you, you're going to spend close to the same amount of money because the C7s are more expensive now because they're still manual and they're still old school, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, the C8 is a completely different fucking animal. Like it's not even the same car.
I know. That's why I'm kind of like I feel like I still want like the muscle car feel. Okay. That's why I was looking Camaro, GT 500. Or like a C7, C6 type of car. Like I'm just not into the supercar vibe. Like I'm not into it yet.
Wait. Before you say that, have you driven one?
No. Yes, I have. I have driven them. Bob has them. Prisk has them.
What did you? Wait. What did you drive?
GT3 RS, GT2 RS, the Ferrari. Okay. What the fuck did Prisk have?
Okay. Can I just say this about the Corvette? Even though it's not a manual anymore, it still has a muscle car feel to it.
Oh yeah, no, they're not. I'm like, we're talking about like some of the fucking wildest cars you can purchase. So for me, I want to feel like what would suit me the best. So that's why it's like the ZL1, like a ZL1 Camaro, like pretty cool cars.
I could see him driving like a GT500 or Shelby, something like that. You know,
the ZL,
I fucking love.
Get a fucking Super Snake or something. You know,
love them all, dude.
I'll tell you this: the ZL1
every year.
The ZL1 has 305s all around on the tires. It handles like it's fucking insane on a track. But the Mustang GT500, or is it not? It was a GT350 Cobra R or something like that. That's the one I had in 2017. That was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fucking fun.
Like everybody on YouTube, like everybody says they're all fun. You know, I mean, everybody that loves Mustangs, everybody that loves Camaros, but it's like I just got to pick something out.
Yeah.
Because me, I'll probably like it for a year and then be like, oh, I'm going to trade it in or do something indecisive and fucked up and just be all over the place, or just buy a bunch. I don't know yet.
Even though I like the Mustang, even though I like the GT500, the way it looks better, I think the ZL1 is a better car.
And it still comes in a manual too. So
Yeah.
if you like manual, that's probably the way to go.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people said online. That's how I actually found it was a GT500 versus the ZL1, like a video on it on. They were like, this car is awesome, the aesthetic, the look, the GT500, but they were like, this car is the Camaro is so fucking fun to drive.
Yeah,
it's awesome. So
this one, the white with the black is fucking beautiful.
Nasty.
I don't know why. I don't fuck with new Camaros for some reason.
Look at that shit.
They're a little bit more stable than the Mustang, because that Mustang would probably try to kill you.
Yeah.
Well, not the they
all will. You're talking about
me. Just get a Viper, man. You'll be good.
I'll be okay.
Kill yourself in an hour in that thing.
The new Mustangs actually redeem themselves handling wise. Like from 2020 on. They actually started paying attention to the fucking handling.
Yeah.
A lot of the videos are like, if you turn off traction control, you better have your fucking shit together.
Dude, the Super Snake I had in 2012, 800 horse, you die if you took traction. You die if you took traction control off. That's it. You can't.
I watched a video. The guys talking about it. They were like, this car will break loose in an instant.
Yeah.
I'm not getting that one.
It's funny you say that though. The C7 Z06 that Akim's talking about, the 600, that's the one I had, the 650 horse and 650 foot-pounds of torque. You can't put that power down. It won't kill you. Like, it won't swerve all over the fucking and like send you into a ditch, but you'll just spin wheels, man. If you just try and you can't. It's hard to put all that power down in that car, but in Akim's car, you can put all the power down. So
mid-engine is the way to go.
Akim's car is actually safer and faster.
Yeah. That's similar to the one you were driving in.
It's exactly the same one. Yeah. You have less chance of hurting yourself in Akim's C8, even though it's faster.
And you could drive it in the rain. If it's raining outside, you could actually still drive that damn thing.
Yeah. You know what you should
Mustang or the Camaro.
You know what you should get, Seth, is a resto. I see you in a resto mod.
Oh yeah,
that suits him the most for sure.
I know.
I just don't know if I'm ready to spend that much money with a 5-year-old in my garage.
Nah, it's only like $100,000. Same as look at this
the ones I looked at.
I see you in that.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's a little too retro.
No, look at this.
They're a little much more. That's too retro though. Bro.
That's too retro. Yeah.
I'm not old enough. Maybe in like 10, 15 years.
Yeah, that's
like the resto.
Look at that.
Yeah, like that.
Stingray.
That's a badass car right there. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Seth, let's pick a car for Seth.
That one.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I used to hate this body style, by the way, but it's like
you got old.
And then I got old.
I'm about 10 years away, man. I'm into it.
Some of the old Mustangs are dope too.
Yeah, the old Mustangs are sick.
Let's see. Mustang resto mod. Oh, look at that.
Like, this is fucking dope, you know?
Yeah, them things ain't 100 G's.
Like a Shelby resto mod would be fucking so
Seth,
sick.
I could see you in that, dude. Look at that fucking.
I mean, I found one that was about 280, and I was like, I can't spend 280K on a resto mod with as a first car. No way.
You can afford the payment set, don't worry.
Away from children.
Oh, I look at, you know what? I follow this.
There you go.
I follow this. It's called Vanguard Motors, I think.
Oh yeah, Vanguard.
Yeah. They got some good cars. Look at this one. Oh, beast.
Yeah, those are sick with those kits on them.
Gray and black is always the best way.
Yeah.
This the data girl had
Look
a
at
67
this
Mustang.
fucking thing.
Really?
Did you really, Paul?
Yeah.
Was she a stripper?
Yeah, little tiny one too.
That's such a way.
I don't know how she drove that car. Because it was manual steering. Like, I had a hard time parking this car. I don't know how she would do it. This girl,
dude, that's so wasted.
Drive too.
That's so wasted on you. You probably didn't even know how awesome that car was.
I hated driving it because, like I said, it was all manual steering in that. So I didn't like driving it at all. I don't know how she steered that thing.
I can hear Paul now. Paul's like, couldn't you get yourself like a nice Honda?
Right. Yeah. Why'd you trade this in for a Honda Civic?
Get in a Accord like all the other strippers.
No, they get 3 Series Mercedes. That's what
Yeah, 3 Series.
Yeah. Or BMW 3.
C320, you know?
For a while back, I had a AMG, a C55,
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
the steering pump went. So yeah, no power steering, and I deliberately did not fix it because every time somebody asked me to drive it, they were not strong enough to turn the steering wheel.
Yeah.
Is this your
You
car?
just laugh like that at him.
Yes, and it was a deterrent, So don't ask me to drive my car because then they can't turn the steering wheel. So I basically kept that car for almost a year and a half before I fixed the steering pump.
Is this your car?
Which one?
This one. Is this your car?
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that thing is badass, man. See, I'm telling you, that's one of the baddest AMG they ever made.
You think so?
Yeah. It was literally bulletproof. Like literally.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never had a Mercedes or a BMW. I've been looking into them. I've been looking into like getting an X5M or something.
Because it's a tiny little car with a big old V8 in it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like a German muscle car, pretty much.
Yeah.
Ian, how does it feel to be the second strongest guy on the podcast now?
I know it's a little depressing. I've been so dominant in that arena on the podcast for so long.
Akim,
Even in retirement, but I'm
Akim,
losing out here today.
I'm why I brought you in here as a ringer because Ian talks so much shit. I'm like, I got to bring in somebody stronger.
Fuck. Yeah.
So
okay.
Ian,
Go ahead. Sorry.
I wanted to ask Ian, how's he enjoying retirement so far?
It's good. And I have my moments, I mean, I have moments where I'm glad I'm retired. And then I have moments where I'm like, fuck, I'm itching to get back up there, Like being in Pittsburgh this weekend, it's like, I have moments where I like watch it. I'm like, fuck, that would be fun to be up there, Like when I'm watching that, like how exciting that show was and shit. And I'm like, fuck, I would love to be up there. But then, the other shit I do the rest of the weekend, I'm like, thank God I'm fucking retired because this would not happen, So it's like it's good and bad, But I mean, that's something that I'm always going to miss. It's like, anyone that's like done something at a high level like that, it's always going to be something that even if I'm 20 years removed, I'll still miss it in some way. But no, I mean, I'm enjoying it as a whole for sure. Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Sorry, Fouad.
No, go ahead.
As a competitor, I mean, we all competed on here. When you're not competing in the show and you're sitting in the crowd watching the show, how does that feel to you? Doesn't it feel like surreal?
Yeah, because honestly, I had watched like almost no shows when I was competing. Like I'd sat in the crowd for like 3 shows in my life, and they were like amateur shows, So I've sat in more shows in the last 2 years than I had in the previous 15 before. And it's all I'm watching all guys on stage that I used to compete against, like just 2 years ago. So yeah, it's definitely the first one or two was hard. Like the first Arnold I went to, the first Olympia wasn't bad because it was so soon after retirement. I was still like in honeymoon phase of retirement. But then all of last year was like pretty tough. Like going to the Arnold last year, the Arnold UK, all those shows, it was tough for me. I was sitting in the audience and I was like, fuck, I could still do this. I could still fucking spank some of these guys, I'm like, Like I was still close enough removed from it that it felt like it was so close to me. Where now at least I'm like 2 years out of it that I'm like, fucking let him have it kind of thing. But it's definitely something I'll always miss for sure. Yeah.
There's a couple things I think. One, Akim, I don't think that'll ever go away because I've been gone for like 8 years now. I think 8 years was my last show.
It's been that long?
Yeah, I said 2017 was my last show.
Wow.
And it's like I never really think about it anymore. There was a period where it was really rough for me, but now I'm like totally fine with it. But when I'm with the guys on the weekend, like I'm with Samson, I'm with Ben, I'm with whoever, and they're training, I don't know if I miss the stage anymore. I just miss being able to do what I did in the gym.
Gotcha.
Yeah, see, that's one reason I don't think I miss it as much in some ways is because my body, I still can.
You can still
I could still train with any top pro and keep up, if not exceed most of them still.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's I had a period after retirement. That's why I started training again. Is because I was kind of like fucked off with training for a while, and I was running and doing all this stuff. And I got back from vacation, Thailand. Me and my wife went, and I got back, and I like couldn't even press 100-pound dumbbells, and I was like. Which to maybe like a normal person, that's like obviously still crazy. But to me, like I've been able to fucking do like 50 reps with those at one point. You know what I mean? That's like a shoulder press, like cranking out 50 with that, like it's nothing, So I tried to kick them up for a shoulder press and I could like barely lift them. I'm like, this is completely unacceptable. And the next day I got back to eating and training. Cause like, yeah, I mean, and then I was going to do a lot of traveling that year for shows. And I was just like, man, like this was a couple of weeks before the Arnold. And I was like, there's no way I can go around and fucking train with these guys and be like taking off 3/4 of the plates to do my set. I'm like, that's fucking sad, man. I can't do that shit, you know? So
Akim,
I fucking hit it hard again after that.
Akim, are you of that mindset yet? Are you like looking at like what's next kind of thing? Are you, how old are you now?
I'm turning 41 in August.
You're 41?
Yeah, I'm turning 41, yeah.
Fuck,
August what?
Paul. See, Paul, we don't have any excuses.
I'm 52. I got a couple. But, what's your birthday, Akim?
August 20th.
I'm the 5th.
He's trying to be on the same day. He wants to be like, we're buddies.
We're both Leos.
He's done this before. Don't worry.
We're both Leos at least.
Anyway, listen. So I had this conversation with Ryan Terry on the weekend in not this week, past weekend, the weekend before, Mexico City. And he was like, what's it like? Because I think Brian, I don't know, it seemed like he was thinking about like what's next. And the one thing I could say is I think everybody I've seen retire since I retired has experienced this. There's like a 3-month period where you're like in heaven.
Yeah,
you're
like 6-7 months.
Freedom.
You're like, I don't got to pack my meals. I can just, if I'm traveling somewhere, I have one bag with my clothes. I'm not tied to my kitchen. I'm not like, when I'm eating, I can just eat a bowl of cereal if I want. I don't have to fucking, and so you go through this phase of like relaxation. And then it hits you like 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, whatever it is after, you're like, fuck, I think I missed the grind. And then you enter like this dip where you're like, fuck.
You also start to see yourself, like your physique and your performance start to get to a place where it's just like unacceptable by your standards anymore. You know, like I start to get to a point where like I was peeled out of my mind, but I started to get like, I was like 225, 230 pounds. I'm like, I felt skinny, which I know it isn't, but like to me, I was like, I don't like this. I feel weak and small, and I'm like, I'm not cool with this anymore, So like I got below my like acceptable threshold of like strength and size. So then I'm like, and I missed the training and the routine and the regimen and stuff like that. But it drove me back to it because I just love being fucking strong,
Yeah.
How long, Akim, before, is it just as long as your body will hold up, or do you have a time where you're like,
I'm trying to give myself about like 2 or 3 more years.
Yeah.
While I'm still like, injury free and stuff like that.
Listen, you're the first black guy on Bro Chat. And we're a little bit racist here, so I hope I don't offend.
Hey, Samson.
I hope I don't offend you. No, Samson's been on Bodybuilding Bollocks. He's never been on Bro Chat. Yeah. So I want to ask you, why is it that black guys can compete till they're 50 and be totally fine?
We're done by 35.
Yeah, I'm 35. I'm like, I'm fucking falling apart, boys.
Got 4 torn muscles.
Yeah.
I don't know. Good question, man. I really can't give you an answer to that.
You know what I always thought, Akim? It's crazy. I always thought it's because a lot of the guys I'm thinking of don't train like the white guys. Like when I think of like Phil, or I think of Dexter, I think of Sean Roden, I think of like they have William. They have like a higher volume, maybe
like
not as
style. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a pump style. It's still hard training.
But
like
Akim doesn't train like that. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is Akim's the outlier? That's like he's just trains fucking like crazy.
Yeah.
So
I think for me, even though I'm really like super strong and stuff like that, even when I was doing all the crazy stuff, I never push it to the limit.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
It does make sense.
I remember I could like squat. One time I was training with Oscar Ardner, we were doing 6 plates, and he wanted me to get like 15 to 20 reps of 6 plates of squats. And I remember I would go to the gym with the mindset that if I truly show him how strong I am,
he's gonna make you do 40 reps.
Exactly. He's gonna kill me. So that's where I kind of learned that habit where I would sometimes I used to like pretend like I was struggling.
Yeah, make it look good.
Exactly.
Awesome.
I swear to God, I would have to.
Because next week it's going to be 7 plates on there.
Yeah,
like, what the fuck have I got myself into?
Exactly.
It's funny. You said that the first time you came on the podcast, it was just me and you said that you never tried to train heavy. You just kept adding weight, and it seemed easy.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's kind of the same thing I'm talking about. It's the guys I feel like their careers get shortened a little bit are always the heavy duty failure guys.
Yeah.
Like beyond failure, crazy high intensity. And the guys that seem to last are the guys that don't go that far.
Yeah.
Don't take that risk.
So I don't know, is it genetic or is it training? Or is it a combination that takes you to that place? You know what I mean?
I'll just say I had no injuries in my career, by the way.
Yeah. I would say it's
I don't know if that's true, Ian. I don't know if that's true.
Well, I might look different, but I didn't actually have any injuries.
But you did. But hold on a minute. Let's have a real conversation.
Wow.
If do you think that if you didn't train as crazy, and I'm not saying you would because you're obviously really successful in the way you train, but just do you ever think back, like maybe if I didn't train as crazy, my muscles would have looked more fresh for longer?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But this is what I'm talking about, right? So then that's why when you see people
It's hard for me to say because like there's two things here. I think I would have had more longevity, but I don't know if my ceiling would have been as high. So it's like because I didn't really start to get really good until like 2019, 2020, 21, 22 when I started training like that. Like my physique kind of looked the same 2016, 17, 18. I was getting a little bigger, but I still looked very juvenile in my physique. My weaknesses were the same. And then when I started working with Patrick and I started training how I did, and I fucking just like went crazy training with Mark and like, you know, like my training really ramped up.
Yeah.
Then I became seventh at the Olympia, second at the Arnold, you know, like winning all the shows. My physique in 1 year made like a big step up, you know?
Okay, so I'll say this. So I'm a firm believer in what Patrick does, like that whole training past failure and the way he does things. Like and I'm not saying, and I'm not arguing that that doesn't work at all. I like to have these conversations because it's interesting to get the thought out, right? So do you ever think to yourself, because I think that about myself too. I'm like, well, this is where I hit my stride and it's because I did this in the off season. But do you ever wonder if sometimes sometimes people will message me and be like, I hit a plateau, and I'm like, I think sometimes it's just time. Like it's just time and accumulation of training. And maybe you would have got to that place in 2019, 2020, 2021 anyway, just because there are more years.
Yeah. Who knows?
Maybe, but look, it's hard to say for sure. Obviously, I can't go back and redo it the other way and see what the outcome would have been. But there was when I started training harder and heavier and like really pushing things, there was 1 year like where that started and I got a lot better, you know, versus every year before that, I had been doing the same thing. I don't disagree. I think two things. I did have a rounder, fresher look when I was training like how I was before, you know, a little more high volume, bringing sets to like a soft failure, but not like fucking
Not like all
assisted
out,
reps, like, you know what I mean? 9 reps past like nonsense shit, you know? So I definitely had like more roundness to my delts and like, you know, things looked like not so jagged. They looked a little fuller and rounder,
right.
But I got a lot bigger. I got a lot gnarlier. And like, that is what ended up making me win shows. So do I think that in the long run, maybe my ceiling could have actually been higher, but like much later, like, you know, where I was at my best when I was like 30, 31,
Yeah.
you know, I would have been at my best at like 35 or 34,
Right.
you know, and I would have been like, instead of winning a bunch of shows in a short period of time and doing really well, like in that kind of short time frame, then it would have been kind of more incremental. Like I win one show, but then I lose a couple of shows and winning. I'm like 10th at the Arnold, set 8, you know, kind of just slowly, gradually building up like that. Then I think that would have probably been more the reality versus mine was kind of like
up and then
you know,
Like
I had 3-4 really good years, and then I retired, you know?
Yeah.
Better
Seth,
to burn out than to fade away.
Yeah.
Seth, what do you think about that?
I was going to say similar to what Iain said. It's
What's up?
the fact that like whenever you get into a really intense training style or whatever, you find what works for you in that regard, because that's what we're constantly searching for. The biggest thing is whenever you hit that plateau, that threshold, you're like, how do I break through it? I've been doing this style of training, or a body part, a large body part is not growing the way that you would like to see it grow. You got to start trying something new, because let's face it, like whenever you're a competitive bodybuilder at that level, like you're not waiting.
No.
You're not going to be like, oh, I'll just give
it now.
Yeah, that you're not going to give it a couple years. You're not going to wait that shit out. You don't have that kind of time, because you already know that the window of opportunity to build a successful career is already small.
Okay, hold on. Let me rephrase the question. So let's say, yes, you have to change your training style. Yes, maybe you have to add more frequency. Yes, maybe you have to train heavier and harder here. Whatever, you have to figure it out. I guess the more specific question is, if all of us knew at 20 years old, if you do this style of training, you can go until you're 50. And if you do this style of training, you're done at 40. Or
I wouldn't have changed it, because for me, it's a little different in that, like, a lot of the popularity and the name and like the reputation I built was because of the training and content that I posted for how I trained. Like that's how I still have a life after bodybuilding was from a name that I established. It wasn't just from my placings. It was from like, my personality and stuff, but like how I trained and the kind of content I put out in those years that was just like really drove that fan base that people thought of me in that light, like the people when they think of like James or, people like that train like the Branch Warren-y kind of idiots, So I don't regret it because I think it made my career have a better place from like a social media and marketing standpoint, but it's tough to say. But also there's the answer of I just enjoyed training that way more.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have changed it because I wouldn't have cared to be one place higher at the Olympia to not enjoy my training for that 3 or 4 years as much as I did,
Yeah. So I'll say this. I was the same. My persona came from my training. Even though I didn't train as heavy, it was more intense and like crazy, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But if you told me when I was 20, hey, if you just fucking back off a hair, like John taught me, if you just back off a hair, you're not going to tear every muscle in your body. Then I might be like,
you wouldn't have did shit. You still would have did the same thing.
Yeah. See, but like I never tore anything. So
the name of your company is HOSSTILE.
Yeah.
The same thing with what Iain was saying, like the company Axe and Sledge, it's intense, it's over the top. Our personalities didn't come through dieting, it came through training. Our mentalities came through, especially when we saw that it worked. Once we saw that it worked in a way, we were like, oh, I might have found the golden ticket here. I might have found what I was looking for. And then you continue to have success with it and builds your personality. Like Iain said, like everything that he's done, he figured out training. He's literally one of the best people at training in bodybuilding.
Well, and one of the things he said too, that I think, and I don't want to get into the whole like this generation, that generation shit, but one of the things he said that is the most important to me as well was just the way it felt. Like me and Paul would go insane. We would just we'd lose our shit and just train because it felt good.
Yeah.
For me, I think the only thing I would change is the amount of time I took off after competing.
I would change that too.
That's what I would change. Yeah. Yes. I felt like as soon as the show was over, I would take my ass right back to the gym and start doing the same type of crazy training. Yeah. So I'll definitely change that part of my.
Oh,
I don't go back in time. I would change that.
I don't mean that. I mean, I
agree. I agree with Akim. Yeah.
I probably would have done. I went back to my training. I would have done more shows. That's kind of what I meant. I don't
see. I did a ton of shows, but like I was like, if that I'm interpreting what Akim said, like I would finish the show and I'd get back to training that same way right away.
Exactly.
I think my body needed more rest post show. Like when I look at like Chris, like Bumstead, he'll take like 2 months after the Olympia and like chill. He'll chill and just fucking, train, but like not be too serious. Doesn't diet too crazy. Gets enough food in, but like if he wants to eat some, different shit or eat fucking wraps for all his meals or just doesn't really stress it, lets his mind get right and kind of take it off the stress, take that everything that, stress off your body physically and mentally. And I think it went a long, long way for him,
But I don't know if that's a fair comparison because Chris can't gain any more weight.
No, but I also know open guys that have done
it. In general, like I think there's this idea that as soon as the show is over, and you get that rebound, you got to go back to work right away.
Yeah. Listen, I did that too, and I'm not saying you guys are wrong, but in the mind of a bodybuilder, every day counts.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say.
But sometimes less is more when it comes to bodybuilding. I think 90% of the year is still good enough. And I think that extra 10%, especially when we're having the conversation about longevity, right? If we're going to get back into that and the training and even longevity mentally, right? Like, I retired not because I was done physically. My body's fine. I can still train the same today as I did then. I retired because I was done mentally, not physically, And I think if I'd honestly eased up, like I was like, 2 hours on the dot, I got to get a meal or it's fucking over. You know what I mean? Like there was no mental break at all. Like post show, it was right back into the same thing, training, dieting, everything. And I think that is what wore me out more than any physical thing ever could have, I
could see that. I could see that.
For sure.
Yeah. So we were all in Pittsburgh this weekend. We're going to get into it. We're going to hurt some feelings. I told Akim that Derek was going to win. I'm just joking. Me and Akim, do we have a bet? No, we didn't have a bet.
Yeah, we had a bet. Come on.
You were supposed to shave your beard, I think.
Yes, yeah.
Why do you still have a beard then?
Because your horse in the race didn't win.
What are you talking about? We were betting on Nick and Derek.
No.
Yeah.
That's what we betted on.
That was the
always
bet.
change the bets after.
No, I do not. What are you talking about?
You do a little bit after.
Seth, were you right there when we had the best, or you walked away? I think you walked away when we had the best. Yeah.
I believe that
So
the bet was simply
his bet.
Okay, you tell me what you think it was.
The bet was he said Martin was going to win.
No, that's not true.
I said Nick was going to win.
That's not true. I said Martin was going to win, but then we bet. Wait. But then we bet. Wait a minute. But then we bet who was going to be ahead of who, Nick or Derek. And I said Derek would beat Nick. Now, can I just say this?
2 bets in 1. That's not.
They cancel each other out.
That's how I do it. That's how I do it. That way,
guarantees victory.
Yeah.
So even if you lose, you still win.
I still win.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. No, I will say this. I thought Akim was right actually after prejudging. And me and Ian and Dennis were doing the commentary.
We all had Nick winning.
Seth, you were sitting one row behind us, I believe.
He was directly behind me. Yeah.
I thought prejudging and finals, Nick had it. I know people in the comments say there's some people in the comment section that are like, "Oh, you're a Derek hater." I'm not a Derek hater. I have a problem with his quads. I don't think his quads match his upper body, and it just throws the whole look off for me if they're not full like they were at the Arnold.
Yeah, I mean, look, I put Derek to win this. I put Derek to win the Olympia. I bet on Derek. Like, I'm not friends with Derek in any significant way. I'm not a Derek hater or fan. I just put things how I see them. I had predicted Derek to win all these shows, and he did. But here in this one, in my opinion, I still was 100% confident that Nick should have won the show, you know?
Okay, before I break down either person or we break down either person, Seth, what did you think of the outcome? Did you think it was the right call?
I like it was torn. Everybody saw it was torn. Yeah. I thought Nick was going to get the nod. And at night, I thought Derek was winning prejudging. I was like, I could see them giving this to Derek because
it was actually opposite though.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it was opposite.
I know.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's why I was like, man, I thought Derek was a little bit. I was like, I could see them giving it to Derek because he's just cleaner. The presentation, because of what I know, there's a lot that goes into it. We're talking like fucking millimeters of a difference.
Right.
But then when Nick came back at night, I was like, hey, I really like Nick because he is doing what Samson did at the Olympia, which was pull eyes. No one could take their eyes off of Samson at the Olympia. No one could take their eyes off of Derek at the Arnold. Like you just kind of like started getting pulled because everybody was so close. We're talking about the best of the best. And I just kept getting pulled back to Nick. And I'm like, I could see this wowing effect because they were both on, but Derek, I don't think was as good as he has been.
No.
He was better at the Arnold for sure.
But he was definitely better at the Arnold. Yeah.
That's where I was like, look at Nick wowing the crowd. He's doing what those guys did in the past. So that's where I was like, I'm like, I think Nick's getting the nod. I think he's got it tonight.
I'm going to take the crowd out of it only because he's in Pittsburgh, so he's probably closer to his home.
Well, and also everybody loves the comeback story. So like the crowd is going to be in Nick's favor. Like he was the way easier to root for in this situation because when you saw him, you wanted to see him win. You know
what I want to touch on was
I don't know if I say that people wanted to see him win because people fucking hated him 3 weeks.
They hated him until he got on stage and looked good. Right. And now you're like, this is a fucking sick comeback story. Everyone wants to root for
I had a different experience at that show though, because I remember when they announced Derek, when they announced Nick, when they announced Martin, Bonac, all of them, the crowd was cheering a lot for Derek.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And once they started posing, all of a sudden the crowd switched.
They switched
from Derek to Nick.
Yeah.
And by the end of the show, like the crowd was all.
That's what I'm saying, though. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. Is like people coming into the show, like Seth said, people were hating on Nick. Mm-hmm. When people saw how good Nick looked, how good he looked, people became in his favor. And now they really want to see this fucking redemption arc comeback story of like, fuck this guy to shit 2 years. He's about to beat Mr. fucking Olympia here. What the fuck, you know? Like,
yeah.
I think the part I want to touch on really quickly is the whole polish or thing that I saw Bob Ciccarello do a video about this kind of tie-breaking effect of the posing and the varicose veins and this and that. And I'm like, look, one thing I want to say for sure, nobody can hold a pose like Nick.
No.
Nick gets into a pose first, he gets out of the pose last, and he doesn't fucking move during the pose.
Stands there.
It's like, so posing is out. That's Nick's. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If we're giving somebody a show based on varicose veins over muscle, there's a fucking problem, because I'm going to show you something. Okay.
The only thing I will say, and look, I still think Nick was the clear winner in my eyes. His midsection control between poses in moments of excitement was not great.
I agree.
At finals, when they were excited and they're hyping up the crowd, or when you're staying side stage, he let his stomach go.
He did. And I thought in the morning, when I thought it was super close, I thought that it could have been a deciding factor.
Yeah.
I know some people argue.
I think I nudged Bob at one, or not Bob, sorry. I nudged Dennis at one point, and
it was me. You looked over at me. Yeah.
No, because Dennis was here, and I moved my mic off my mouth, and I said, I wonder if that's going to hurt him.
Yeah,
because Nick was standing side stage, and he was just totally relaxed.
Relaxed. Yeah.
Samson was losing his shit.
Yeah.
I was sitting right next to him, and he's freaking out. He's like he wanted to scream. He wanted to scream, "Get off the stage!" Because right after that, everybody walked off except Nick. He wanted to stay there, and you could see him breathing. You could see him like he was letting go, like he was catching his breath from the posing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Everyone else is gone, and you know they're going to bring them back.
Right.
Everybody went and got cleaned up.
If they're gone, you might as well get off stage too and just hide it. You know.
Some people argue that you shouldn't be judged on that. You should only be judged while you're hitting poses. But I strongly disagree with that, especially when it's a close contest. Well, I think when you're on stage, there's always eyes on you. You should always be holding it together.
Yeah. Can I just want to touch on that quickly. In my opinion, might be the unpopular one, but I don't think you should be judged when you're standing at the side. I think subconsciously you might be judged.
Right. That's what I meant.
What I think more
still something.
I think more so what the problem is the transitions is what hurt him.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think it's a standing side relaxed. I think, well, it's like Seth was saying, and I actually agree with him. In some of the transitions, he was breathing heavy, stomach is moving.
Yeah, see, I was talking about,
if I was thinking a judge had an effect, that would be more of effect than him standing off to the right.
Yeah, see, I wasn't talking about standing off to the right. When I first initially said it here, I said in moments of excitement when they were like, you know, they're posing together and they're hyping, and Steve's like, you know, one more time, hit him most muscular, and Nick will go and hype, and he'll let his stomach out for a minute, you know, things like that. But I mean, other than that, like in the actual poses, I thought Nick, to me, was just, I gravitated to him so much, and he was the clear winner to me. Yeah.
In the actual poses, 100%. Switching from pose to pose, there was moments.
Yeah,
but I still don't listen. Even in saying that, like, I still don't think it. Like, look. I don't even think he was as close as it was. Like, I'm going to show you guys the lineup, okay? This is a lineup.
Yeah.
Like, immediately what I see...
Your eyes go to Nick.
Yeah, my eyes immediately go to Nick. And to me, even though the waist is bigger...
The abs are good.
It's a much more balanced physique.
Yeah.
Like, the calves, the quads, everything kind of fits together. Whereas if you go to Derek, he's wider, he's bigger, he's thicker in some areas up top. But it doesn't match the base.
But he's got less in the arms, less in the chest, less in the legs, less development in the abs. Like, you know, it's like he's got a smaller waist and wider lats, but that's like all I'm seeing.
And the crazy thing is, this is his pose.
Yeah.
It's like the front double and the back double are Derek's poses, and he's not killing Nick in the shot.
No, because Nick's midsection, like, it's still really nice in control here.
Yeah.
Like, he's sitting down on those abs. Like, it looks great.
And then,
you know, like, look, front lat spread, I give to Derek, but it's still not even, it's not like a big, they both don't have great front lat spreads.
No,
both their front lat spreads kind of suck, you know?
When you go to the side, it's like, yeah, maybe Derek has a little bit more detail in the quad, but Nick's got more detail in the glute. He's got way bigger. He's got a way thicker hamstring, bigger arms, much bigger delt.
Yeah.
Like, this is Nick's shot.
Yeah. I mean, Nick has arguably one of the best side chests.
Side tricep, I would argue.
With Akim and other guys in best side chest that there is, you know?
Side tricep, I would argue the same thing. Like,
I would give the side try to Derek, but I think this is a close pose. You know, I think for Nick, it's a great shot, but I think Derek's midsection control and just overall flow to the pose is a little better. I think Nick faces too far front to the stage, and I did talk to some of the judges that don't like how much he is quarter turned to the stage. You know.
Yes,
I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, he's showing too much.
But when you look at Nick's side shot here and you see how small the waist looks,
yeah. I think it's great. I think he needs to turn sideways.
I don't know. But
this is a photo. In the shot, he looked really good, but he was twisting too much. Whenever he went into it and came out of it, his stomach was distended.
Yeah.
And then when you go to the side, the
back shots are the toughest ones. Yeah.
Look, this is Derek's pose.
Yes.
But not here.
Yeah.
When
I didn't think Derek could be beat on that pose, but I actually think Nick beat him on that pose.
I had Nick. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I had Nick winning the back shots.
So did I.
That was where the variance is. I think when people line up the poses, like, how many poses to how many poses, I think they end up kind of with 4-4, which is what I said in my recap videos.
No.
I think the judges ended up with 4-4 because they're giving Derek the back, Nick the side, Nick the most muscular, Derek the front, so it ends up like that. But to me, top to bottom, left to right, Nick has bigger arms, bigger shoulders, more definition in both. His back is still excellent. His glutes are still good. And then his hamstrings and adductors are 90 times the size of Derek's,
So
and it creates a way better X,
So what we've said basically then is you're really giving like maybe 2-3 shots max to Derek.
Yeah. But the judges, like Iain just said, the judges more than likely saw.
The judges had split.
I'm not saying that.
Well, I don't think that's how it works, because I don't think each individual judge wasn't necessarily split. Just half the judges like Nick. So some of them might have been like, I have it 6.
I'm not talking about the judges. I'm not talking about the judges. I'm not talking about the judges. I'm talking about us.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we look at the poses, I think I gave 2, maybe 3 poses to Derek.
Yeah, I agree. I gave him front lat. Well, I probably gave him front double, even though it whatever, but front double, front lat, side try are the ones that I gave him. The back shots I thought were close. Ab and thigh is kind of a wash. They both don't, Nick's is better, but they're both not amazing. But then most muscular, Nick just mutilates him in a most muscular. It's 10-5 round,
I gave Nick side chest. I gave him both back shots. I gave him the ab and thigh, and I gave him the most muscular.
Yeah, you gave Nick both back last spread too.
Dude, look at this. Just look. It's insane. It's not.
The thing with Derek is it's.
Can I show you?
Just get so hypnotized by his glutes. Look, his back is fantastic too, but Nick top to bottom is better.
Can I just tell you? Look, Paul. When you look at this back shot, look how low his lats sink, and they're just as wide as Derek's.
It's a very similar back.
But then you have better cap delts, better triceps, better hamstrings, better quads, better calves. It's like if you look at the entire shot, it's just better.
Yeah. My eyes still go to Nick here. Yeah.
The only thing you see when you look at Derek is peeled out glutes.
Crazy glutes.
I know a great back, but to me, Derek's just missing hamstrings on that shot. I think everything else is there.
Hamstrings and adductors. Look at Nick's adductors are literally smushed together.
Okay, wait a minute, Paul. I'm not talking about what Derek is missing. I'm talking about comparison to Nick.
I think Derek's back is better in that shot. I think his glutes are way sharper. I think Nick has hamstrings on him.
And arms and shoulders and arms. And
but calves. Not enough for me.
I don't think Derek, looking at this picture here, Paul, where do you see that big of a variance between their backs? They're almost the same.
I know. And Nick's is fuller here.
Yeah. There's not a big variance.
To me, Derek's look at how dramatic Derek's come out from his look where they are in his arms, they're underneath his triceps. It's so wide, it's crazy.
So
wide.
Nick, it's almost the same. Look, do I think Derek's back is marginally better? Yes, I do think it is. In this shot,
I'm not saying it's killing him.
No, but then I think the rest of the shot is still in Nick's favor.
Wait a minute, you're just looking at one body part.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm looking at glutes. I'm looking at lats.
Glutes and
but I don't think Derek's glutes aren't necessarily
hamstrings on that. I'm giving him hamstrings. Delts, I don't think it's enough of a difference.
Okay. Yeah, in this pose, I agree. It's not a big difference, but
I think
I just had Derek slightly edging on that.
How I see it is the whole silhouette of the pose. Derek doesn't have nearly the same amount of sweep on his quads. He has a big gap between his adductors. He doesn't have as much detail in the hamstrings and adductors. I think the back is slightly better on Derek, but then everything around, I think the delts have a more detail and roundness and cap to them, which does change the physique. And then I think because of the legs being so much thicker, you create way more of an X where Derek is more of a Y, And I want to see freaky cartoon proportions. And Derek has that to the bottom of his glutes. And then it's kind of just down. And his quads were flatter than at the Arnold. And you saw that big time from the front. And it's definitely showing here in the back. And then he's got, the biggest thigh gap of anybody up there.
I don't see Derek having a Y there, though.
And part of the reason the shoulders do matter is because that's what's creating this massive X effect.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying they don't matter. I'm saying I just don't think it's a dramatic difference between the delts on that shot for me.
Okay. Well, I mean, look, you're entitled to your opinion. It's fine.
Yeah.
I personally,
I think it's an extremely look. I think this is an extremely close pose. I don't think it's like a blow-up pose for Nick. I think it's like so close, it's almost negligible. You know?
Listen, I think if you looked at them both from the waist up, you could say it's marginal. If you look at them both from the
even
waist
from the
down,
glutes up, you would give it to Derek probably.
No, I wouldn't, because Derek's maybe have more detail, but Nick's are just as hard.
They're just as hard. It's just Derek.
Yeah,
Derek's glutes look like that in the off season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I understand it's a strong point.
Okay, let me ask you this, Paul. If I was to cut this off here on both guys, who would you make
cut it off where?
Right at their body? right at their waist. Right at their waist. If you
I give it to Derek.
You would
really just because of the glutes.
I'm sorry, you're talking about the upper body. You're talking about
no, I'm talking about the lower body. The waist,
lower body.
The waist down.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant upper body. No, lower body. I give it to Nick because the hamstrings are such a dramatic difference.
Okay,
another thing I think.
Wait. Sorry, wait. So you just said it. There's such a dramatic difference. So but hold on a minute. So what I'm saying is the lower body, there's a dramatic difference, and the upper body,
the hamstrings.
Okay, hold on. You said the lower body, there's a dramatic difference. We're looking at the entire lower body.
But I'm also including the glutes in that, Fouad.
That's fine. You said in the lower body, there's a dramatic difference. So you would have picked Nick. But in the upper body, it's a marginal difference. So if you're weighing it out, you're like, well, fuck, his lower body is twice as good, and his upper body is like a little bit better.
Okay, well, I want to clarify. I didn't mean that it's a dramatic difference in lower body. I meant it's a dramatic difference in the hamstrings. Derek's glutes are better than Nick's, in my opinion.
Yeah, but it's also also a dramatic difference in the quads.
Paul, I think for that shot right there, I'm looking at Nick, and I think one thing he should change is the color of his posing trunks also.
I agree.
That light posing trunk did not.
He needs more contrast. He needs way more contrast.
It blends in with the skin a little bit, and that might have brought out more detail. Yeah,
more details in his glute. Exactly. Yeah,
right. No, he needs like a blue or like
something blue or something. Yeah, darker color. Yeah.
And listen, I just need to touch on this. It's not just the hamstrings. It's also the adductors and the quads and the calves.
Yeah.
Like the quads matter. That's also
they do. You're right.
That's also what's creating the X frame. This is
it's the shape of the entire
pose. But hold on, this sweeps from the knee all the way to the fucking hip. Right? Like this is creating a massive X here.
Yeah.
Like you don't have that on this side. And if you just if you squint your eyes, if you actually pull back from the photo and look at it, it's Nick's shot.
Yeah.
Like it's not even.
If you squint and stand just 25 feet back.
I have Nick winning the lower body. I have Derek winning the upper body in that shot. At the sum of both parts, I like Derek's look on that pose better.
Okay. Well, I disagree. I think
this is where the judges were.
I think you're right, but I think the difference in the lower bodies is dramatically different. I don't even think it's honestly, other than Derek's like striations in his glutes, I don't even think it's close.
Yeah. See now, like with the back double bicep, for example, Derek's width isn't as apparent there. It's more like it's a detail shot, density shot.
But it is. His lats are higher and they sweep out further, so you can see more width. But he has.
But Nick has
more detail.
He has no arms, and then the lower body is getting killed too. So it's like, what do we like? It's
and I gave that pose to Nick. I just want to.
Yeah, that pose is clear to Nick.
I just to me, Derek's strength in that pose. Derek's strength from the back doesn't translate into the back double bicep pose for me,
which is crazy because that's his lights out pose.
But it's wider for sure. I know it normally is, but this show didn't have the same pop. It
almost makes his legs look even thinner in this shot. You know,
right? I agree
because he's opened up.
I don't see the same striations that I've seen Derek have in that pose in the past. Remember at Olympia when we were sitting close to it? Remember to hit that shot?
Yeah,
we could see striations throughout his lats. I didn't see it at this show.
I agree.
Detail wasn't there.
Yeah, I don't. That's why I was saying overall, I thought Nick was going to get the nod because this all was so close. But I don't think the same wowing effect wasn't occurring from Derek that it didn't. It was in Nick's favor.
I thought Nick should have won too. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like pose for pose. That's how I felt about certain poses. I had Derek winning 3 poses.
Yeah. Where are you going?
Nick winning 5.
Where am I going? What do you mean? I'm going to look at some other pictures.
You're just going so far down.
Well, I'm trying to find out where the other pictures are. Yeah, I don't know, man. Look, obviously the judges are judges for a reason. But
the thing is, the judges were just as split as everybody. Like, you know what I mean? They were.
It wasn't. Everybody was freaking out, calling it a robbery. I don't know if I would call it.
No, that's a ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay,
it was not that. A robbery would have been straight first and straight second.
Yeah. No, it's definitely not. A robbery.
I'm not saying it's a robbery, but most of the people I've talked to had Nick winning. I don't think it was as split as you're making it sound.
Do you think
I'm saying with the judges were literally exactly split.
I know what the judges did. Obviously, they're split. Yeah. I'm saying most other people that were watching the show had Nick win.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't count in this, you know.
Well, of course they don't count, but we're having a podcast and people have opinions, so I know they don't count. But the point is, like, it kind of does count. Like, people get to have their say, you know. It's like it doesn't matter.
No, I'm just saying in terms of what rendered the verdict of the show.
Right.
I'm saying that when we're sitting here arguing over, you know, Paul saying this pose, this thing, you know, whatever, blah blah blah. The judges were clearly just a split, you know.
Here's a little bit further away, like to show the difference.
So,
like when you look at it from this far away, it looks dramatically different to me. Like Nick looks.
So if you're going, like, you know, AI is a big thing right now. So if you're going off a AI perspective in terms of the criteria for what bodybuilding is and judging and stuff like that, and you run those pictures through an AI, who do you think wins?
That's a
great question.
Yeah, great question.
Why? Did you try it?
No, I had actually a big argument with one of my guys from the booth talking about that.
Why? What did he say?
They'll probably give Nick the nod.
Yeah.
They probably what?
Should I do it? Should I do it right now?
Yeah.
Sure.
You run those pictures too, yeah.
I was thinking they would give Derek the nod.
Yeah.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
I would have thought they would have give Derek the nod.
Why?
Just the smaller waist, the more aesthetic look.
Yes, because they're so close. This is in my head what could have occurred from the tiebreaker there. Whenever we go through it all, the one thing that we have been not we, but the people were saying years and years ago was get rid of the gut, stop rewarding the gut, stop rewarding the gut, and then there was the transition with Roden. And then all of a sudden, like, it started being like, hey, there's going to be a little bit of a transition. Waists are coming back. Like, yes, the classic, but still massive. And, you know, bigger guys being able to pull vacuums. Like, there was a big switch. This, like, even though, God bless you, even though Nick had his waist in check the best since 2021, we still saw it. It still was there. Even though it was the best it's ever been, it was still there. So, did that play a role? Because whenever you look at it, Derek has, I hate using the word polished because he wasn't as good as he was to have that look like he did at the Arnold. But overall, really small waist, huge lats, super wide. Like, did he have the same X frame that Nick did? No, but there was that one thing that was still there. It was still there.
I know, Seth, but in my opinion, and I'm with you, I want smaller waists. Just hear me out. I want smaller waists. But I think imbalance is a bigger deal.
That's what listen, I thought Nick was going to get the nod at night because I'm like, it's happening. He's just wowing right now. And that's that effect that we're all looking for as fans. But from the criteria standpoint, that's why I was saying if you put it in AI, I would have thought they'd be like Derek because
I would think that too.
Conditioning and the waist, the control.
So let's go on to. I want to go on to William first because I'm like, holy shit, William's 42 years old, and he's battling with Martin potentially for third place, and he just fucking looks phenomenal. Like, how is he 42 and still looks like this?
Getting better.
Like, he's better than he was when he took second at the Olympia.
Yeah.
Hannah was there and she was sitting there and she's like, hey, how old is that guy? I was like, early 40s. She's like, how is he still so big?
Yeah.
I know it's kind of an anomaly.
He's incredible, man. He's absolutely incredible. Talking about Martin, listen, I saw some pictures of some video of Martin a week out. You know, I don't know what it is in the car. Like, one of the things I heard, and I don't know if this is, I don't actually have any inside information, but I heard this, that they were really trying to dig him down. They were really trying to deplete, dig him down, get him as peeled as possible. And they did that all the way up until the carb load. And that's why we saw him sweating on stage. I think sometimes when you do that, when you push the body to such a point with depletion and then try and stuff it full of carbs, it doesn't necessarily always stick. You seem to like burn through them more quickly. So I almost feel like they fed him, but but then when he started posing, it just started to come out. And as we saw him in prejudging, he started to flatten out as he posed. The more he posed, the more carbs he's burning through the carbs. Water started to come out.
I don't.
I think I talked to him after the show, and I said, Martin, it might be a good idea for you to do a mock load the day before, or the week before. Load up real fucking hard and then deplete again. That way, when you try and load the final day, it's going to kick in really quickly and you'll be able to hold it.
Yeah.
Either that or front load, like start on Sunday or Monday or something, and like really take your time loading the body.
I think you should always take longer, but I don't think that was the issue. I don't think him sweating was what hurt his look here. To me, it looks like they overfilled where it blew out a lot of his lines. Like his quads, the detail was way shallower than I'd seen it before. And he already is a guy that's kind of like riding off of like long minimal lines and kind of nice round sweeping shape versus like a guy with like crazy gnarly Nick fucking wackiness going all over the place on his quads. There isn't a ton of detail to his quads when he's hitting them, unless he's shooting down on them. But everyone that they shoot down on them has some nice feathers when they're lean, So I think when they were pushed out a little bit, he lost a lot of appearance of conditioning in that. And then he already isn't like a guy that has a lot of crazy detail in his arms or anything like that. So I think on the front shots, it's hurt him a lot. And then from the back, I think he was still pretty good, but I think a lot of the shots, he wasn't setting his left glute. Same as I saw him do in Prague. He was sitting on his right glute and it was flexed and the left one was kind of going in and out. So the left glute and ham wasn't set in all the time. So it didn't look quite comfortable and right in the pose. And I did see him do that in Prague as well, where he didn't do that at the Olympia. So I think it was just some small things. I think it was a little bit of nerves and anxiety and pressure with this lineup.
I think that what you're saying, like he knew he was dead on at the Olympia.
Yeah,
but those nerves, I think.
Well, look, there's also
there, so like he just wasn't.
No, there's also something to be said with when you go to the Olympia for the first time and you end up in the first call out, you're fucking ecstatic. You're like, holy fuck, what the fuck is going on right now? He had no expectations. His expectations are now as the fourth best bodybuilder in the world. So when you go to a show here and now you're on the outside of the call out against the guy that you really want to beat in Nick, we all know Martin really wants to beat Nick really badly. When he's now on the outside of the call out and you're like, fuck, the reality is setting in of I might be losing to Nick here. You might know you're not your best. You've maybe seen Nick and Derek backstage or seen Nick backstage. And you're like, what the fuck is this colossus of muscle? And you start getting in a little bit of anxiety. And I did see this happen to him in Prague as well. He was very confident going into the show. When he got up on stage, look, he obviously thought he was going to beat Chris. Chris is a classic guy. I would have admitted the same. Before the show, I put him predicted to win the show. And he did win the show. But when he got up there, the crowd obviously was really excited for him. He saw some of the pictures. He saw the screen. He saw Chris on stage. He's like, holy fuck, this guy looks really fucking good. He could beat me. And Martin said to us after the show was done that he thought Chris was winning after prejudging. So, and we could see that in his mind on stage. His demeanor changed. The water came out a bit. He wasn't sitting on his glutes the same. I know he was having some trouble with a hamstring or something in Prague as well. But you could see that immediate shift in his demeanor and how his presentation was, and his look and the cortisol kind of went as a cascade alongside that, the exact same. This to me was literally watching Prague. I felt like I was watching the exact same show for Martin. Just here he had Derek and Nick, not Chris Bumstead.
I said to him after the show, because I saw him on Sunday at his booth, and I said we were talking about the carb load, and I said you need to take a little more time, take it easy. And then I said to him, you looked a little stressed.
Yeah.
And he said to me, I wasn't stressed. I was totally fine. And I'm like, I kind of agree with you. I think he was fine going in, but I noticed as soon as he got
100%.
pushed out of the first call out into the edge, his entire demeanor kind of went a different
100%.
way.
Yeah.
Every show I judge, I see that happen. You put someone's in the middle of the start, and once they get moved out, you see them. They're not posing the same.
I saw it. This was literally to me like I was sitting down. I'm like, this is Prague all over again to me. It felt the exact same.
You're right, Paul. I think it happens to everybody, but there are some people that have a better poker face, I guess you could say.
Absolutely, for sure.
No, like if Derek got pushed if Derek got pushed the outside of the call out, he'd still be smiling in every single pose. We know he would.
Yep.
He is
Nick too.
Well, Nick doesn't really smile much in any of his poses, but he would look the exact same whether he was in the middle or not. You know,
I meant he would keep his composure. His posing wouldn't change.
Where with Martin, you could kind of see a change in that demeanor that you wouldn't have seen
because Martin's very expressive. So when he comes out, he's very happy. He's very jovial. He's very
feeling himself.
I love being on stage, and he's strutting around,
hitting the poses hard.
And then all of a sudden, the poses start getting hit different.
Yeah,
the strut changes a bit. And you're like, he's losing it.
Yeah, the confidence is gone.
And he'll learn from it.
He needs to just come out and be himself.
Yes.
Just chill out. Yep. Just don't have any highs or don't have any lows. Just walk out and do your thing.
Try to keep your emotions out of it.
Or if you're gonna be on the highs, keep it.
I disagree. I think he being himself, he is that guy, very expressive. I know what you mean. I'm just saying in general. Yeah. I think Martin just needs more experience. No one expected, like Iain said earlier, no one expected him to be fourth.
It was such a quick rise,
It was
for sure.
So drastic. It was so drastic that it was like, holy shit. So I think the pressure of it all, but him more experience for him. He's so young, so young. So I think he's fine. It's just going to be that he's going to have a hard road because he had a high, and now he's going to go into the Olympia and he's going to go up. There's going to be 5 really, really fucking good bodybuilders.
Yeah,
that he's going to have to try he's going to be out of the top 5. That's what
I just meant,
which is still unbelievable.
Like Nick and Derek and Samson and Hadi.
Yeah.
These guys have the same demeanor when they walk out and when they walk off.
Yeah.
You don't really see them shift. You don't really see them get super hyped. You don't really see them get down. They kind of just walk out and go to work.
Stoic.
And I just think if you can walk out on a high and keep that fucking energy, then do it. But if you're going to immediately shift your high to a low, I'm sorry, judges are human.
Oh yeah, if
they see you shift from like super excited to super bummed out, they're going to start to look at you differently.
It affects the way you pose too. You can see it in people when they pose.
Well, that's why I said with him and the same in Prague, not quite hitting those back shots the same,
right?
Not quite hitting them with the same. It was kind of like getting into them gingerly and kind of just standing there. Like there was a loss of like ferocity and intensity that he had when he came out, when he thought he was battling in those top spots versus when he realized that he potentially wasn't. You
know what?
You're hitting your poses with confidence rather than with no doubt.
And look, I've done it a million times. I'm not saying like I'm any better. I've come out there, thought I was killing a show, and then get moved out of the middle spot. And my demeanor, I'm like, fuck this, fuck these people, fuck everybody.
I mean, all in all, he's still third. He still beat William. He still, showed up.
Oh my God,
did well. But I think the thing that is a bummer for him and a bummer for me too, is like a friend, and I'm sure some of you guys, you guys are all friends with him too. It's a bummer when you see a guy not be able to show his true potential.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I like the way I saw Martin a week before the show, I was like, holy fuck. Yeah. If he brings this to the stage, he's gonna wow the fuck out of everybody. Would he have won? I don't know. But it would have been a really cool comparison to see him at his actual best against those two.
If he would have been that at his absolute best, it might have been the 3 of them instead of just 2.
It would have been a 3-man call up. Yeah, it would have been a 3-man.
Look, I still think Bonac would have been in that mix. I think he was good enough, but I think it would have been more of a tighter comparison with the 3 instead of Martin with Bonac,
Yeah. Well, with that being said, let's take a look at our
I'm gonna go to the bathroom right back.
I beat you this week, Fouad.
I know.
But we both placed fucking low here.
I shit the bed bad on this.
We were 6 and 7.
I think you know why, Iain? I think I bet with my heart, not my mind.
Really? I've never known you to do that before.
Well, because I actually had Nick in first, which I would have lost anyway. But I had Nick in first, and I put Martin because I saw some video and I was like, fuck, I want Martin.
Yeah, and then you swayed me with that, and I moved Nick. I had Nick, and I moved Nick down to third, I think. You fucked my shit up now too.
All right, let's take a look at the results.
Who had Nick? Did anyone have Nick?
I had Nick.
You had Nick in your predictions?
Yeah. Even right before Thursday I saw you for when we had that conversation. I had
Ben won this week.
Ben won. Yeah, but he still had Derek winning. But Derek did win. Sorry, but I'm saying, did anyone put Nick?
How did Ben?
Ben had Nick second.
I mean, he got this. He got this perfect.
Yeah,
but the only and he would have won by more if he'd had fucking all these athletes.
Wait a minute, he didn't have all the athletes in. That's why he got it perfect.
Oh, that's why he won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah. James is going to be the same.
But James is same because these guys didn't get to do the full.
They didn't get it. Okay, so we got to take them out.
Well, so that means Paul won.
Yeah.
He's got one.
Don't tell Paul he's not listening.
Yeah, don't say.
Oh, Seth tied for first.
Nice.
Paul, you actually ended up winning because Ben and James didn't actually have all the athletes in there.
Oh, okay, so I won by default.
So they didn't have any deductions for having in the wrong spots
Jesus
where you
Christ.
did. You know?
I'll take a win.
I got fucking 18.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Okay, so at least I beat you by 5 points. What were my predictions here?
I shit the bed really bad this week.
See, I should have kept Nick in that second. I'm sorry, Nick. I had you there, buddy.
You know what?
It's Fouad's fault, man. Listen, blame Fouad, not me.
I'm not betting with my heart anymore. Fuck this. Everyone's gonna
fucking famous last words.
Yeah,
he said that before.
I don't care what anybody says. I'm gonna hurt feelings from now on. Okay.
I'm excited for this show, man.
Yeah.
Predictions. No players. Add player. We got me, Ian. We got Paul.
No, I gotta set this one out for it.
Oh yeah, he's judging.
You're judging.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul's out.
Oh man, fucking A, Paul.
Yeah, I got to pass. I got it. Yeah, thank you. I got to pass on this one.
Create new player. Akim. Create. Okay, where are you? Oh, you're at the top. Akim. Wait, nobody else has their last name. Oh, well.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, there's only one Akim here, you know? Well, the other Akims we got to decipher with the last name, you know?
How many guys do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 11?
Yeah.
Add a row here, add a row
Hey,
there.
this is a pretty good lineup.
This is a much easier one to predict, for sure.
Why does Seth's have all these numbers?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Just minus.
You doubled me up.
Yeah, there's a bunch of doubles in there.
Man.
What the fuck?
I would just delete him as a whole and then re-add him, but
it's okay. This is going to take longer. It'll be more fun for everybody to watch.
Okay.
Insert.
I'm excited to see Regan.
Yeah, me too. I want to see him stand next to Crizzo. I think it's been a great comparison.
That I think is the best comparison here.
Yeah.
I think Crizzo is bigger and freakier, but I think Regan's a little prettier. I think he's way better from the back. So I mean, that's a good comparison.
Yeah, and I haven't seen Regan now in at least a year.
Yeah, about a year. Yeah.
Interesting to see what he looks like now.
Okay.
What the fuck is going on here?
Why is it not want to? There we go.
There we go.
All right.
Sorry, Seth. Okay.
We're ready.
Akim, you want to go? Okay, we got Regan, Nick Walker, Sasan, William Bonac, Krizanek, Dennis Fredreich, Pavel Baron, Vincenzo, Kennedy, who's
Colossus Ken.
Gianluca, and Mark Arthur Dautrici. Okay, this guy I couldn't find on Instagram, so we can't take a look at him.
Yeah, I know him personally.
Is he good?
Yeah, he's been around for a while, but now I wouldn't say he's.
Gianluca's jacked. What the fuck is this guy?
This is at Pure. Is this Canadian?
No, it looks like he just.
Okay, no, he was just there.
Look how big he is. Fuck.
Well, there's Toronto Pro stage pictures there. It looks like he was a 212 guy. Yeah, because this is the Expo stage, so he must have been coming from the 212.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's not the main stage.
He's shorter fella then.
Yeah, he's good though.
Round as fuck. Yeah, look at this.
Yeah,
look at the quads on this guy.
Look at the legs on this guy.
Right.
Impressive. Yeah, that's those midget legs, you know. No, sorry, I'm kidding.
Gianluca Vincenzo we saw last week. Pavel Baron we saw last week. Dennis we saw earlier this year at FIBO.
Pavel's actually good. Like, I actually really like Pavel. It's just his color was fucking atrocious at this show. He really needs to improve that.
Did he miss a night show or almost miss a night show?
Him and Crizzo.
Yeah.
I don't know if this was English as a second language thing, you know? Yeah.
Okay. Akim, go first.
I have, well, obviously, I'm going to put Nick first.
Yeah.
Okay. Shit.
I think you can just go ahead and put Nick for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say Bonac in second.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, God damn it, Michael third. God. Sasan is good. Ken is good.
Yeah.
Do we have any more recent shots of Ken?
I just saw one.
I'm going to put Ken in fifth.
Who's in fourth?
Shit. I want to go Regan fourth.
Regan. And then Ken?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm going to go... Krizo, and then Regan, and then Ken. Okay, who's 6?
For 6, I'll put Ken in 6 also. No, sorry, yeah, I'll put Sasan. Well, let me flip. I'll put Sasan 5th and Ken 6.
Okay, that's Ken. Okay, who's 7?
Yeah, 7th, the guy that we just talked about, the one with the big quads,
Gianluca.
Yes.
What's that Mark Arthur guy look like? Is he any good?
No. He's. I'm not shitting on him, but he's a pretty tall guy. You don't have the legs and stuff like that. So
no, he's no good. Okay.
just put him 11th, guys. Come on.
Yeah. I'm not. God.
You got Dennis Friedreich, Pavel Baron, and Vincenzo.
Vincenzo 10th.
That's what I was gonna. That's what I did too. Okay, and then I'm gonna go Dennis.
Frederick 9th.
Yeah.
And
that leaves Pavel.
Yeah.
Pull up Dennis. I feel like Dennis can beat Pavel here. I think he's not that
I want
bad.
to see Dennis.
I did say I just pulled up Dennis.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
That was Dennis. This is Dennis right here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, still missing a bit in the legs, but
yeah. Any back shots?
Pavel. Sorry, Paul.
That's okay. I'm not doing picks anyways.
Yeah, you're not doing picks anyway. What are you doing?
Yeah, I was just curious.
That's good. That's a good quarter. Man, if he brings those legs up a bit, he's got a great upper body, great midsection, good big delts, good back.
There's a back shot.
Yeah,
he's solid. Just needs a bit more legs.
I think I might put him ahead of Pavel.
Yeah.
Let me switch this. That's tough. Gianluca, eh?
Italian.
I don't know what kind of. Is this him now?
Yeah, he's pretty complete, man.
That's 33 weeks ago.
He's pretty fucking big. Yeah, okay, I'll leave him there. Let me just take a look at my picks again. Sorry, I'll let somebody go. I'll come back to it. Ian, go ahead.
Okay. No, let Seth go first.
I got Nick, William, Sass, Krizo. Now this is the toss-up for me because I didn't see any Colossus pictures, but the Colossus and Regan is where I'm at.
Here, I'll take you to Colossus's page so you can see where is he, Kennedy. The most recent thing he has is this. Skin looks kind of thin.
Yeah.
The most recent update photo is here. This is 1 week ago.
So that's what I saw.
That's pretty fucking impressive.
I don't know if he's quite hard enough.
Yeah, I don't know if he's hard enough.
I know. That's why I put him where I put
Can we
him.
go? Can we?
That's the most blessing looking side. Like, go back to those other shots.
Yeah.
That ab and thigh. This literally looks like blessing.
Yeah. The way he's hitting it.
Yeah.
If I was him, I'd hit it more dead on. Like his waist.
Yeah, because he's got great shape.
And he's got crazy
hands above the head.
Yeah, both hands above the head and legs straight. Look at his quads, man.
Yeah, dude, you got the legs. Why would you not?
Kennedy, if you're listening to this, stand just like this and put your arms over your head.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the one arm.
No, I think the one arm is second. You know,
if you're going to transition into it, fine, but hit him with the front with both arms first. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if he's going to get the condition to where it needs to be. So that's kind of where I put him. Put him.
I'm going to go Regan.
Regan's not really a conditioned monster either, though. So I don't.
I know that's kind of why I was thinking between the two because Krizo is peeled out of his fucking mind.
Yeah.
So, but I'll put Colossus in 6th.
Okay.
Then I got the Gianluca guy.
Okay.
Now I'm kind of torn between. I really hope that the Pavel was. I liked his physique. I don't know. I think he could have peaked a little bit better, and his color could have been. His presentation could have been better.
Agreed.
But that's where I'm at between Dennis and Pavel right now. So I mean.
So you're putting Vincenzo in 10th?
Yes.
Okay.
Then Frederick.
Friedreich?
No, and Frederick.
And, 9. Or 10th, sorry. Or 9th, yeah. That's it. Ian, you're up.
Pavel.
Yeah, I think I'm almost the same. So I'll do Nick, Bonac, Sass, Krizo, Regan, Ken. Fuck, I hate I'm going to do the exact same as Seth. So maybe I'll change something here.
We'll talk it out because I'm debating between the Pavel and the
I'll put a Dennis ahead of Pavel just so I'm not the exact same.
Yeah.
And then other than that, then nobody's the exact same.
Okay. I think I should keep this. Yeah, we're all pretty similar.
Yeah. I mean, this is a much easier show to predict. Like, there's kind of tiers here. Like, Nick is a clear winner. And then, you have that next group.
I don't know if it's that easy to predict, Ian, because you could.
Well, it's second through fifth is hard.
Yeah.
Second through sixth.
A lot of these could easily flip depending on conditions.
Can I make one more change on mine?
Yeah, of course. No, it's already locked in. Too late.
It's on the box cubes.
Paul's not voting. Paul's not voting, so we're good.
Can I switch Regan and Seth?
Switch Regan and Seth. No, it's too late.
What concerns me about Krizo is posing.
No, yeah. Oh yeah.
You want Regan fourth and Sass in fifth?
No, I want Regan. I want Sass in.
You want Sass in fourth.
Mm-hmm.
Regan fifth.
Yeah.
Basically what I think we've all done is assume that Regan and Kennedy are not going to come in shape. Because if Regan and Kennedy are both in shape, they could easily move up to fucking
third at least, yeah.
I don't know how Kennedy's going to look, but
the thing with Sass is he was pretty comparable with Bonac, and I see Bonac as the solid second here, and I didn't see Krizo being that comparable with Bonac.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, listen, I have the same picks you do. I agree with everything you're saying. All I'm saying is if Regan is fucking peeled with the new muscle he's put on, if the new muscle sticks around while he diets.
That's the thing is Regan, we've said this every year. Yeah.
I know there's a lot of ifs. I know. I'm just saying Regan, it could be the wild card, and so could Kennedy.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Regan has quite enough quad yet to balance out his physique and his conditioning. And the thing with that hurts him a lot is his side shots, like his side chest density.
Just to give you guys
Bonac and Krizo and these guys are insane in the side chest.
Just to give you a big fuck you, I'm going to put Regan in fourth.
Yeah, do it.
I think that could be possible.
I got some faith in Regan.
Yeah.
I think that could. Sorry, I was just gonna say I think that could possibly happen just because Krizo's got posing issues in my opinion.
Paul, and I know it could be. I know bodyboard. Come on, I'm leading.
No, look, I certainly think if there's gonna be one that I think I would flop, it's Regan and Krizo, and that's just because of posing and they're similar size in terms of their structure, like both 6 foot-ish, a bit more broad. The reason so it could, and Regan's way prettier. I mean, he doesn't have those chunky obliques and weird lat tie-ins. And
the reason I did it is if Regan is even close to being in shape,
yeah, he's good.
He's been top 10. His physique is much more complete than Krizo's, and his strongest body part is literally Krizo's weakest.
But wait, the last Olympia they did compete together, and Krizo was a less version than he is now, and he still beat Regan by 2 or 3 placings.
Yeah, that's because Regan's not in shape.
Regan's not in shape.
But that was his best Olympia ever, the one that he was 10th or 9th or whatever,
Yeah, but he still wasn't in shape.
Yeah. So I'm predicting similar to that,
Yeah. I look, I know it's a tall order for Regan to be close to Krizo's condition, but Krizo has a really hard time with his back shots.
Yeah. And you can see what it is if you actually see him posing from the side. His arm is here.
Yeah. He loses
I think
all
it's
of his
because of that shoulder issue, that he just had surgery on. Look, he already had these posing issues, but I think it's worse now where you can see that one lat is really pinched off because I don't think he has the external rotation that fucked up delt of his.
Before we go on, I gotta say huge congratulations to if I can find any fucking pictures, Leandro.
Oh yeah, Leandro's the fucking man. Yeah.
Because Dennis didn't know who Leandro was. I'm like, watch this guy. He's gonna be fucking crazy.
He's doing Cali. Yeah.
So Leandro walks out, starts posing, and Dennis is like, "This guy's really good." I'm like, I fucking know.
Told you. Yeah, he's very good.
He just very, very complete, and he came in a little harder, and he got rewarded for it. I think he was, what was he, 5th?
Was he? Yeah.
No, he was 6th. Krizo was 5th.
Krizo was 5th. I thought he was better than Krizo myself.
I thought he was too.
Yeah.
Look, if this guy, and I talked to him after the show, and he was like, "What do you think?" Yeah. And I was like, "Look, man, I'm like, you are better than Brazil, but I'm like, you're losing to guys you shouldn't be losing to because you're just not hard enough. I'm like, you have one of the prettiest, most complete physiques upstage. I'm like, look, you could still be a little bigger, but who couldn't other than Nick? I'm like, you need to be a little bigger, but I'm like, in the immediate, I'm like, if you just come down 3-4 pounds, I'm like, you could have beaten Krizo all day here,
The other thing about his peak as well, though, it looked like they pushed the conditioning and he wasn't full. So the combination of not being as hard as he should be, and also not being full, had a weird look to it.
Yeah. I think he has no weak shots though.
No.
Like he's like front double looks pretty, big arms,
Amazing.
good lats, good legs. From the back, he's good. You know, he could use a little more like ham adductor, but overall, man, the guy's really fucking good. Like,
and
very, very pleasing to the eye.
yeah, I love it. It's one
structure.
of my favorite physiques, like as a whole right now, for sure.
And I gotta say, he's also kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Look. Who can pull this off? Look at his car. Look at his car. Come on.
What a fucking Chad, eh?
Fucking stud.
Look at this fucking. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at
This guy's just mashing girls in Brazil, eh?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
For sure.
guaranteed. Yeah.
He probably fucked a girl in the back of that car after.
Yeah.
He fucked half the bikini lineup in the backstage, you know?
Okay, before we move on from Pittsburgh, Classic, I thought they nailed it. I thought everything was kind of the way it went. I know it was close. I know it was only 1 point or whatever it was, but
yeah, I had initially Jose. Okay, this guy is his name. I think someone said that the Jose Ma is kind of how they say it as like you say your first name combined with something, so you can call him that. And it's not just his Instagram handle. So I think I don't know. I was calling him Jose.
I'm calling him Jose Ma.
Jose Ma.
That's what everyone knows.
I think it sounds cooler.
Josema.
Yeah, it's more unique.
Listen, I think that human might have been the most shredded human I've ever seen in my fucking life.
His back was ridiculous.
Crazy from the back.
I
Crazy.
thought Logan was the leanest person I'd ever seen at the Arnold's.
I think Logan was still leaner, but it was still they're both like in the 100 percentile of leanness.
What I said to Ben, because Ben said that too, and what I said to Ben was maybe they were the same body fat, but Jose's muscularity is like
more density.
Especially in the upper body. Yeah.
I think it gives him the opportunity to be a little fuller.
Yeah.
The thing is, Terrence, that quad sweep on Terrence makes every shot an X. Whether he's doing a twisting shot, a side shot, a front shot, a back shot, the sweep on his quads just creates this beautiful X frame in every single pose.
Yeah.
And that's the one body part that he had over Jose, but also the one body part that makes Jose look more like a Y than an X.
Yeah, it's so much for like making your shape and your X-ray, especially in classic, where I think it's even more pertinent. The sweep in some shots for Jose just didn't look quite as pronounced, and it definitely hurt him. It's in from the back too, like they're a little more linear, and it just doesn't give. Even though his back is like fucking so freaky, it was just a little more of a Y, like you said.
You can see here, right
there.
As he's standing here, you see this pop off the hip to the knee, and you see this crazy like X.
But then the upper body, like Jose's killing him in the upper body there.
He is, but that's the problem is like it's the imbalance, right? Like you're coming down from this beautiful upper body and then it's just straight.
Yeah.
Does he have any more weight?
I don't know.
Jose Ma.
He's got to be near the top of it.
Yeah. Because that means that he might never beat him.
I don't know if this is a weight issue. I don't think because somebody said to me like, "Oh, do you think he's getting so shredded that he's losing his sweep?" And I said, "No, I think it's the shape of his legs."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like the hip insertion is just like not quite developed enough, you know.
And it's like you see this front double. It's like this is just perfection. Like there's nothing, you know.
No, it's
so. Beautiful. And the same thing here. You see this sweep on this quad, just the way.
Look how peeled that motherfucker.
Yeah, and he's leaning back a little too far. He was leaning back a little weird on his side chest. I like it kind of, but it was hurting him. But then look at his back. What the fuck?
Crazy,
you know, hamstrings, glutes.
Yeah, his back is ridiculous.
Yeah. And Terrence was great in that shot too.
You know what's awesome about this? He's actually pushing his glutes out, and they still are that, and they're still that
peeled. Imagine if he squeezes them in. Fuck.
But
like you can see there, the quad sweep from the hip down to the knee is like such a straight line, where Terrence has that like round flowing. You know, makes so much like more on the X frame there.
Yeah.
And same here again.
Look at that. This is a straight line to the knee.
I wonder if you if you were to throw that leg that he's got forward off to the side a bit more, like turn it a bit more on his toes,
like Terrence's.
I wonder if he could make that pose a little bit better.
Well,
that's what Derek does to try and hide his sweep a little bit as well.
Yeah, right. Because he's flat-footed there. If he goes on his toe, it might be a little bit of a different look, and then with that knee out a little bit.
I think you're right. I think you're right, Paul. But I think he's kind of doing that here, and the sweep is just it's flat.
I know it is. It is flat.
It looks better. It looks better than this for sure.
Yeah.
But even with the foot out a bit, it's still, look at the difference here.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Jose, come to Canada. We'll train some legs.
I honestly think it's, Yeah, I think
Look how deep those separations are. The way you can put a fucking card in there.
That's crazy. Like that. Like, look at his chest, his midsection. He's like a fucking slab of granite, you know?
You know, I gotta say though, Terrence was fucking in great shape too, though. Like,
oh my god, Terrence was peeled out of his skull too.
It's just
it's just his skin is darker, so it doesn't display the same. But it's like the conditioning, body fat wise, is probably very comparable. You know?
On a black backdrop, you probably see it better.
All I kept seeing at the show was this fucking split in his bicep.
Yeah.
You
see that?
Boyer Co.
It's like
a Boyer Co split.
Yeah, it's fucking retarded. I was like, what is that, man? Like, it's crazy.
No, he's got a great physique. But I mean, he was what, 5th or 6th of the Olympia last year. This is a fucking top dog, you know?
He's a really young guy too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like 23
or something like that.
Yeah. I wonder if eventually he'll have to go back to open bodybuilding because of the weight.
I don't know.
The only thing I want to say about Pittsburgh before we move on, and you guys can touch on it too if you want, I want to commend them for not fucking with the lights during judging.
Yeah.
They had a black backdrop, just a couple logos there and their own logo, but nothing distracting, nothing taking away from the physiques. And when we say like, when people are like, oh, you should do like Detroit's a very specific thing. It's a smaller show. It's in a theater. We can do whatever the fuck we want. When you're putting on the Olympia, the Arnold, Pittsburgh, these massive shows, they found a happy medium. They were like, it's a black screen. We're going to put a few logos. We're going to put our logo, but we're not going to fuck with you with a bunch of lights.
No. And the athletes all look great in front of it. You know?
The only time I think the only thing I thought they went a little overboard on was the screen was really bright during the routines. So like any of the shots that guys got from the routines are probably not going to be great.
Yeah, but at least they'll have a million great shots doing mandatories.
Yeah, like they got the judging right. Yeah,
I think if there's any time, sorry, Seth, if there's any time you're going to put in a bit of like extra pizzazz and artsiness, I think it's during a routine because just in a routine because that's about like the fucking artsiness of it and like the entertainment value. It's not like a judged round, you know.
Mm-hmm. I know, but some of the backgrounds were a little distracting.
Yeah.
Like they were like, bubbles and shit popping.
But I kind of liked it sometimes. Like when Terrence was doing his routine, the background really kind of like fitted. I'm like, oh, this is kind of a vibe, you know? Like
some of them were really cool. Some of them were a little, but
I wish I'd eaten like 4 or 5 grams of mushrooms.
And some MDMA.
What's going on here?
Anyway,
my brother and his wife were there. And my brother hasn't been to a show since my last show in 2012.
Oh, wow.
And his wife knows nothing about bodybuilding. But when Terrence came out,
that routine,
she looked over at us and goes, he's in a different class.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, really?
She's like, just the whole, like his level of posing and presentation. Yeah. She's like, I didn't know that's what bodybuilding was. I was like, like that's somebody who checks every single box. Yeah. It was like an appreciation that she didn't know she had for it. So it was really cool to see that reaction.
His level of posing. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Ian.
As his level of posing, we were talking about it when we were doing the commentary, is just, it's so fluid. Like every transition is like perfectly rehearsed. There's no space where it's like, whether he's rehearsing it in entirety or not, which I'm sure he is, even if he's not, you would never know. Like some guys, you can tell maybe they put a minute into the routine, it keeps going, and then they're just like free balling it. Like the music felt like it could have gone for an hour, and it would have just felt just as fluid. Every transition was perfect. It fit his music perfectly. It was like, it's just artistry, man. It's crazy to watch. Like you just literally, this crowd's like quiet, and you're just like, what the fuck, you know? Like,
even that pre-judging when he was doing the free posing. He was transitioning perfectly.
They're smooth and fluid, like move so nice with everything. And
it's not only the transition; he knows exactly how fast to move his arms.
Yeah.
With the it's
like just fast into slow into fast. Like
he's got a really good gauge of his tempo.
Yeah, it's so nice.
Music, and it flows so beautifully. It's like, it was the one time like I was either because I was really fucking tired. I don't know if it's because I was in Mexico all last week or whatever, but
maybe.
Some of the routines, some of the classic, I was just like falling. I'm like, fuck, or men's physique, I was falling asleep a little bit. Sorry, guys, I'm just being honest. But when Terrence came out, I was like, just stuck. I couldn't. Yeah. I didn't have an expression. I didn't have anything to say. I was like, I just want to shut the fuck up.
I want to watch him pose for an hour. You know,
It was
going, man. Like
it was just really cool to hear that from her. Like she was just like he gained a fan that was just.
Well, it just shows the level of posing when someone that doesn't even know what good posing is can see that this is different. You know,
it's a rarity.
Okay, if there's no other news this week. I guess we'll get into questions for 20 minutes. Akim,
Sure.
you still good?
Yeah, I'm still good. I'm good. Yeah.
All right. Should the IFBB start posting individual judges' scorecards instead of just compiling results like they do in MMA, boxing, in all judge disciplines at the Olympic Games? Really, if the answer is yes, why do you think they aren't? If the answer is no, why do you feel that way?
Paul, you answer this first, I think, probably.
I don't think Paul should answer it.
I'm okay. I don't think you want to give names because it leaves that person open to possible attack.
Yeah.
I think what maybe they should do is just show those. I think there should be transparency, just not include the person.
Just show name. Judge 1, Judge 2, Judge 3, and then show the scores. Yeah. Yes. I agree with that.
I think there's a lot of things that can be done in judging to make it more transparent and more fair.
Yeah, we talked about it before. Yeah, like you could have like live scores on the board, for example, that during prejudge or whatever. Judge 1 has scored it this way, Judge 2 has scored it this way.
But I don't just mean that. I mean, currently the way judging is done is mostly run by the head judge, and most of it is directed by the head judge. And you kind of got to fall in line with the head judge to some degree. Because
it depends on who's on that panel, though.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm not saying that when the guys come out, the head judge will call out who he wants, and he'll usually put them in the order he wants.
But that's usually with consultation with those closest to him.
Yeah, like if you're judging a show and then they'll be like, hey, you want to see somebody else? And some guy's like, hey, can you bring number 18 up here? And they'll add him into the group. Or the other people are like, no, we don't want to see it. And they'll have the conversation,
Yeah, I think what you're talking about, Fouad, will happen more at like an amateur show where you'll have like an experienced judge or two leading that panel. A show like this where you got Tyler, Steve, Gary, Sandy, Bill, they're all,
What do you think about having different judges at different shows?
Oh, I think different judges for different categories is a strong argument.
What about different judges at different shows?
What do you mean?
Well, I just think having the same judges at all the shows is going to garner the same result. Like it'd be nice to have
a certain look.
It'd be nice to have a fresh set of eyes from.
Like if we get the same panel go to New York and Derek goes there, it'll probably be the same outcome.
Oh, right. I see what you're saying. Well, I mean, you like to think you hope at least that judges aren't, like you're able.
You don't have to. But you don't have to hope. If you just said, you know what, we're bringing in different judges at different shows, then you don't have to hope that the guys are going to. You just get a fresh, random set of eyes.
I think that's a great suggestion, but finding good judges isn't as easy as it sounds sometimes because you have to make sure they have no conflicts of interest for one thing. So that means you can't be a trainer of any sort. I think that's very important to, weed out anybody first off. And then, judges don't make a lot of money. So you got to find someone who's willing to do this for, not a lot of financial reward.
For a long day. Yeah.
For a very long day that, you're not paid a whole lot of money for. So
I don't know. I don't think that's that hard.
You don't think it'd be hard to find enough good judges to switch them up?
I think it'll be super hard.
Yeah, I don't think it's hard. I think there's a lot of very enthusiastic bodybuilding fans that know a lot about the sport that if you told them, you know what, we're going to break the categories into separate judging from women to men or whatever, and you're going to have to sit there for an hour or two in the morning and judge the men's classes or whatever, then you can fuck off and somebody else is going to come judge the women's classes. And I think you would get a lot of people sign up that want to learn. I'm not saying that they're going to be fucking Tyler off day one.
Yeah, until they work a 14-hour day and make $300 and they're like, never mind.
No, nobody's going to work a 14-hour day if you did it right. Nobody's going to work a 14-hour day if you did it right. You don't have to sit. Listen, there are people that okay, look, it's like when we did commentary.
But this is the problem now. If you're bringing in double the amount of judges, now the promoter has to pay to bring in double the amount of people, and if you're doing, now you have an amateur show attached, you bring in different judges for that too. So it's like, you're cycling in and then if they're not if it is the same judges doing the amateur show, well, then they're back to the long day. So it's now you're either bringing in 3 or 4 sets of judges and now you're talking about travel expenses for all of these on the promoter, which is just not feasible,
Cost is an issue.
I don't agree with that.
Why?
Because they make enough money at some of the bigger shows to bring in an extra set of judges. It's 5 more people.
Yeah. For the big shows, for sure.
The Olympia or something.
Well, there's only a few of those. But there's only a few of those.
Well, that's fine. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. For the Olympia, the Arnold. Sure.
I'm just saying. Look, in boxing, do they have the same judges at every fucking boxing match?
Well, sorry, Fred. Let me clarify though. Like a big show, like some of the big amateur shows that I've been a part of, like the North Americans, that's a 4-day show. So they bring in like 20 judges, and everyone gets different categories to do it because it is,
Right, but is the bodybuilding crew always the same bodybuilding crew?
Not necessarily.
But most.
But Yeah. I mean, there'll definitely be a few on there that are repeats from the previous year, but not necessarily exactly the same panel.
I don't know. That's kind of how I feel about it. I kind of feel like
it's not a terrible idea. I get
it's a great idea. I just think it's hard to implement.
I don't see. It's the thing, man. Everything is always hard to implement until somebody does it, and then it's like, oh, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. Like just from my experience,
everybody said for the last 10 years, you can't do a black backdrop.
Well,
you can't do it.
Like just from my experience, like I said before, like it's hard to find good judges.
Yeah,
I don't disagree with you on that point,
Yeah,
but I do believe there are a lot of fucking people that would jump at the chance of being taught or trained or learn enough to become judges.
Well, they can.
Right.
Yeah. The thing is, though, like I've also seen this, and I'm sure Paul's seen lots of this. Lots of people that love bodybuilding. They think they know a lot about bodybuilding. They're very enthusiastic about it, and then they come out there and they can't judge to save their life. They can't keep up with the tempo of judging.
This is really the argument in a.
But this is the argument of coming where it's hard to find good judges. Like Paul's judged shows for years. I'm sure he's seen way more fucking garbage judges than he's seen good ones. And these were all people that are exactly like you were saying, that were, trained and experienced in bodybuilding and loved it and blah, 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 been around for 30 years, but they just can't judge well,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't buy that argument that in all of the bodybuilding landscape, we can't find 20
that will also do it for the pay. Yeah.
And travel away from your family.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think there's a lot of enthusiastic people that would jump at the chance.
I think you get people who jump at the chance.
What do you mean, why aren't they? Because they're not allowed.
What do you mean? Sorry, Fouad. I think you'd have no problem getting guys to go do the Olympia, the Arnold. No problem there. Yeah, everyone will do those shows. But to get to that level, you need a certain amount of experience. So getting people to that level is hard. It's hard. There's not a lot.
That's my argument. I think the same thing. Like Paul, like he's been putting time in. We're excited for him to go do the New York Pro.
Right.
On the North Americans, like you got to earn your fucking stripes. You got to.
Okay, hold on. Nobody's saying they should just go get some kid off the street and put them on the Olympia panel. Nobody said that. Okay, so let's just back up a little bit. I understand there has to be years of training, but I'm saying you have to start somewhere.
Yeah, but then if you're going to judge that much to get to that level, it needs to be like a full-time gig.
No, it doesn't. It's not a full-time gig for you or
no.
Paul,
What I'm saying, like,
do it.
Yeah, but most of the people that are doing it at the Olympia, that's like they judge, like Bill and Jack and these guys, they judge like fucking 75 shows a year, Yeah.
Bill's on the road a lot.
Yeah. Ian, Tyler, Steve, they judge 30, 40, 50, whatever shows a year.
If they call you to go do an amateur show in Florida, are you doing it? And then 2 weeks later, they're going to send you to Arizona. And
no
weeks. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Look, I could do a lot more in Canada.
Why do you need to send everybody to every state? Why can't you just train 10 fucking judges in each state so they don't have to fly all over the world?
But then you're getting the same judges every time if they're just 10 in every state.
Yeah, but you're getting the same judges in that state. You're not getting, so if there's a pro show all over the US, you're going to have a different panel in each state.
Sure. Yeah.
Ideally, that would work.
I know it would work. I mean,
ideally, you'd have qualified judges in every state, that could.
Then you're doing the same thing within a state. It's always going to be the same people in the state.
Same New York Pro every time will be the same judges.
Yeah, but you're getting a different set of judges at all the pro shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that means if Derek goes to New York, he's going to get a different set of judges than if he goes to Pittsburgh, then a different set of judges if he goes to fucking Detroit.
Well, I mean, look, not every show is the same set of judges because there is lots of shows. Like if you go to like Cali or, there might be some West Coast ones, you might get some similars like the Tylers or the Steves or Sandy's, like the top ones, or the ones that are really regular, but you'll get the other 2 or 3 or 4 in there. We'll mix up for sure. Like Paul's doing New York next week. Paul didn't just do Pittsburgh last week,
Right. Yeah. My first time doing New York too.
Yeah, exactly. So, but no, I agree with what you're saying in terms of cycling them out could keep fresh eyes and keep biases towards the certain types of physiques, I don't disagree.
Yeah, I'm not saying.
I think it's a great idea. I just think it's hard to implement. That's all. I think it's a little bit harder than it sounds, I think, to get enough judges to do that.
I think Fouad's just saying, why not fucking start then?
Yeah, well, I'd be all for that.
That's what I mean. It's like it's crazy. This is the part that bothers me about bodybuilding. 5 guys will sit around and go, "That's a great idea," and then everyone's like, "No, you can't do it." And I'm like, "You can do it. You can do it. It takes a little bit of effort, a little bit."
Well, and we kind of do. Like we test judges all the time in Canada.
All the time,
yeah.
There's like every regional show I judge, there's always a test judge or 2 on the panel.
Okay.
Some don't work out, some do.
Yeah, half of them fail.
Yeah.
Sorry, we got off this fucking question totally.
Imagine that.
What was the question?
Should the IFBB start posting individual judges' scorecards? Oh, no, we did answer that, I guess.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Okay. Did you know that in order to improve your posture, you could pretend that you are shooting lasers out of your nipples and trying to shoot people in the head?
Okay.
I don't know. That's Brandon wrote that. So thank you, Brandon, for the
Thank you. I'll try that tomorrow.
Can someone explain the whole tie situation at Pittsburgh Pro? I've never seen that happen before. Lee Priest first. Lee Priest says no one can.
Yeah, the only thing that I don't understand about a tie is that there's never an even amount of judges. They had a 9-judge panel here, which is a big panel, so they had 9, and that's an even number. You can't have 5 to 5 or 5. You know what I mean? 4 to 4. Like it can't be a tie.
You can if they switch prejudging and finals.
No, but what? Okay, yeah. If they switch, okay. Because it wasn't a tie in both. You're saying I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Right. The sum at the end of the day was
the sum at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But forget it. If a girl offers anal on the first date, do you do it or do you
marry her?
I don't know. That would sketch me out a little bit. Yeah, depends.
Yeah, for sure.
Wait, okay, hold on.
Depends how hot she is. Like it really
right.
Does, you know?
Let's hold on a minute. Just hold on a minute. You meet a girl.
How hot is she though?
She's great. Okay, she's whatever. 8, 9.
Okay. Great body.
Listen, great body, great. You take her out.
Cool.
You have dinner. She's cool. You take her out. You have dinner. You end up back at your house, and she's like, "I really like it in my ass."
Yeah.
Why is that
Can't
bad?
get pregnant. Can't get pregnant that way.
I'd probably do it, but I don't know if I would then take that seriously as a long-term pursuit, you know?
What if she's like, I don't want to get pregnant?
But wait a minute. But wait.
Hold on.
Wait. Why is that different than you saying, I like a blowjob?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say.
It isn't very different. Yeah.
Then why are you judging?
Would you take it seriously if she asked you that? If she did that instead?
Would you so Phil, you think she's more of a slut?
No, I'm saying why would you judge somebody because they liked it in their butt?
You shouldn't.
Oh no, I wouldn't. No.
But that's what you're saying. You're like, I don't know if I would take it seriously. So you're judging her.
Yeah.
It comes with fewer risks.
But I'm just saying of like being so forthcoming on a first date in terms of my long-term partner, I would always be a little hesitant with whether it was.
So that's what I'm saying.
Anything.
So you're judging her.
Yeah.
I am. Yes.
Yeah.
But if I'm picking someone to be my long-term partner, I'm always judging them. That's the point.
Yes.
But the entire point of dating is judging a person.
What I'm saying is you're judging her negatively based on the fact she wants it in her butt.
Yeah.
Not because of her butt. She could ask me to fuck her in her vagina or ear.
Okay.
This is his first day. Oh,
that's
okay,
different.
Okay.
So
I'm just saying because it's the first date.
Oh, gotcha.
So if you go ahead.
First date, if she decided to make out with you, would you judge her still or no?
No, not
making out. No, I wouldn't.
That's first base.
Ian's still pretending he's dating when he was 20 years old.
Look, I would fuck any girl on a first date.
Dude, you're 40 years old. If you meet a girl and if you were for some reason, God forbid, divorced, and you met a girl tomorrow, you're probably gonna fuck her on the first date at 40.
Yeah, no one waits anymore.
You're probably right. Yeah.
No one's gonna wait till you gotta wait till the fifth date.
Yep, that's
but
right.
it depends. Wait, it depends though. Like if we just naturally fuck on the first date versus we just like are sitting there and she's like, I want you to fuck me right now. Like on
it's natural.
Then I'm getting
natural.
Okay. But you didn't say it that way.
Well, I'm not saying she just walked up to you and said, "Can you fuck me in the ass?" No,
then I'm just getting an impression of a person. I'm like, I don't know if I would.
No, I said you went to dinner, you had a good time, you ended up back at your place,
and then she's like, "Fuck me in the ass,"
and then she's like, "I don't want to kiss you. I just want you to fuck me in the ass." No, she's like,
okay, so we it just naturally gets to the point where we're like, we go back home after we're watching a movie, we start making out, and then I'm going to fuck her, and then she's like, "I want you to put it in my ass." Oh, I'd be fine with that. Yeah,
you wouldn't judge her negatively.
Would you still date her afterwards?
Okay,
probably.
I would date her too.
Yeah. I mean, you might not marry her, but you date her.
No, in that case, I'd be fine. I thought you were just saying like we're at dinner and she's like, I want you to come home and fuck me. Yeah, so
I gotta ask Paul.
Yeah.
How many dates does it have to be before you're allowed to fuck her in the ass and she's marryable?
Oh, I could be the first.
Well, you just said you wouldn't marry her.
Not the first. Not if I'm going to marry her. But by the fifth, yeah, that's fair.
So she has to wait 5 dates to get her preference, or you're going to judge her.
But you're talking about marrying her.
Yeah.
So it's not so much that I'm giving her preference.
No. I'm not saying. I'm saying it's her preference.
He wants her to be a little more demure.
It's her preference to get fucked in the ass.
Yeah.
You're going to fuck her 5 times and not let her get fucked in the ass because you're going to judge her otherwise.
So back up. So I banged her 5 times.
You fucked her on day 1. You fucked her on date 1.
Vaginal.
You fucked her on date 2. Yeah, vaginal.
Vaginal.
Date 2. Date 3. Date 4. And then finally date 5. She's like, "Can you fuck me in the ass?" And then it's okay.
I still would, but my hesitation would have began on day one, vaginal, right on day one. That would have been
you don't want to fuck at all.
Well, I
see, you were tripping me. He's the oldest one of the group.
I don't think I'd want to marry
for him.
someone who did that though on the first date.
You wouldn't want to marry somebody who fucked you on the first date.
It was one of the things that turned me on about Melissa is that like it was kind of like I had to chase it for a little while.
Yeah, but that's
hold
on a minute. He was 20 fucking years old when he met Melissa. That's different.
It wouldn't change if I was 35 now doing it.
Yeah, because that's different.
Because this girl just throws her pussy around like it's nothing.
No, it doesn't. Hey, listen, I went through this.
Yeah.
Okay. I went through this.
You guys are
young
assholes.
Women, older women, women my age, women with kids, women without kids. It makes a fucking difference.
For sure.
Okay, so you guys are saying you're negatively judging women that will fuck you on the first date? That's what you're saying?
If you're talking about a marriage partner,
if I'm talking about someone that I want to spend the rest of my life with,
Yes.
I'm not going to say you're a bad person, but in terms of like when I'm lining up things, look, I would continue to date them, but like if I started to get a vibe of like, okay, maybe this isn't the right person, that would be something that would stick out in my mind. Well, that's different
though. If anybody got that feeling, you would. But I'm not going to judge her. I'm not going to judge
you get that
her.
out of your head?
Yeah.
So let's say
Yeah.
So you're gonna think how many guys have also banged you on your first date?
I am not that fucking good. Okay. I do not have phenomenal game. If I can find a way in on date number one, other fucking guys are finding their way in.
It's an easy safe to crack.
You're a little more open and a little bit more.
Akim, tell me you're not as judgmental as these fucking guys.
I'm not as judgmental as they are, but it gotta be. It depends on how easy it is.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's all I said.
Okay,
Akim, tell me what's too easy. Tell me
what's the scenario?
We get back to my room and then close off right away. That's too easy.
Yeah, that's too easy.
So
this is what my hesitant was at the beginning. I said you should just ask me if but I'm like if it comes naturally and whatever, then I'm fine. You know
what's the difference?
But let's say we get back to the house and we start making out. Exactly. Watch a couple movies and then one thing leads to the next, and
a couple movies. You're gonna sit there for 4 hours.
He's doing a fucking Harry Potter marathon.
He's like, we gotta
watch. Sound asleep.
Listen, if we watch one movie, I'm not giving you a second date. You gotta watch two. What's wrong with you guys, man?
It depends on who makes the move first. Like she makes the moves on me, and then I'll be like, yeah, she did it before. She did this a lot of guys.
100%.
What if she did do it before? What if she slept with 10 guys? You're 40 years old. What if she did fuck all 10 guys on the first date?
Well, 10 guys at 40 is not much, so I'm not worried about that.
Okay, so what is the difference whether it's the first date or the fifth date? What if it is, okay, Paul, what if she fucked 10 guys and she fucked them all on the first date? She's 40 years old. Does that mean she's a whore?
Because here's my thing. It's not like a guy. You're just putting your dick in something. With a woman,
you're so sexist, dude. It's unbelievable.
I am. I fully admit a misogynist. I don't hide that fact.
You're like, I can put my dick wherever I want, but their pussy has to remain clean.
It should be. It should be pristine. It should be left, it should be left unabused for her husband.
Little judgy, Paul.
I fully admit that.
Paul, you're for sure 50 years old. I'm not that far behind you. How come I'm totally?
Look, I'm gonna be completely forthcoming. If I had met Melissa and we had started hanging out, and then she told me she had fucked 150 guys, I wouldn't have continued dating her.
1,000%. I'm with you.
Yeah.
But if you met Melissa and she's like, I fucked 3 guys and I fucked them all on the first date, would you care?
But she'd been in no relationship, slept with no other guys.
She's been in 3 relationships. She fucked all 3 guys on the first date. She dated them all for 2 years each.
And you're gonna believe her that that's all she's had.
Let's say that's what she does say, but let's say that's true. Are you gonna judge her?
No, I'd probably be a little better with that.
Paul, you don't believe anybody about anything.
Girls with how many guys they've slept with, you can never believe.
Paul
times it by 10 at least.
Paul could tell Paul could be a girl. She'd tell him 30. He'd be like, oh, it's got to be 300.
No way.
Yeah. I'm not gonna believe her. No matter what.
I'd be like, that's fine. You don't want to tell me. I understand.
Well, it's because they know we judge them by that number, so they change the number to try and make us happier.
I don't know what the point is of asking that question because you're never going to be satisfied with the answer no matter what.
Can we go back to the fucking scenario for a second? Because I'm actually blown away by you guys. I don't.
What are you blown away by,
Mr. Progressive over here?
It's not progressive. I just don't think it matters whether it's the first date or the 5th date. It matters.
I didn't say that.
I think it matters when you're younger.
When you're younger, it matters. Yeah.
When you're younger, it matters. I think when you're 40,
all we were everyone except for Paul here was kind of saying of how the scenario came to fruition.
I agree with you guys on that.
Like, look, like I said, from the beginning, I thought you were saying, like, we just get done the date and she's like, I want you to fuck me in the ass. You're out. I'm sorry. I'm going to fuck you in the ass, but that's the end
But then I'm not going to call you again.
I'm not going to call you the next day.
Well,
I might call you the next day to fuck you in the ass again, but that's about it.
Right.
You know?
But I'm not going to put it. I'm not going to.
But if like Akim said, if it like happened in a, we go back, we're hanging out, we start making out, whatever, and then I just end up fucking her in the ass. Well, then yeah, I mean that's probably fine. It just depends on how.
Okay, let me ask you
how
this,
aggressive it felt to me, and if I judged her based off of that.
Let me ask you this, Paul.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. Let's say you meet the girl. She doesn't fuck you on date 1.
Okay.
Or date 2, or date 3, or date 4.
Yep.
And then the first thing she wants to do on date 5 is get fucked in the ass. Is that a problem?
I'm marrying her.
Okay. Same scenario.
Spit in my mouth and fuck me in the ass, Paul.
Same scenario. But
I'm waiting for this.
But on date 5, she comes up and goes, after you're done fucking, she goes, I've done that all before on date 1.
How many date ones have you had?
Team didn't like it.
She's had 5. She's had 5 date ones.
So she's getting banged in the ass on all these first dates.
Yeah, but she made you wait till date 5.
That's even worse then.
That's worse. Yeah.
Well, that is worse. And plus,
this is the whole point of you don't fucking know. Maybe she made you wait.
No, I know. You
5.
never know.
Maybe she made you wait till date 5. Maybe her previous boyfriends fucked her on date 1.
Yeah,
of course.
Like them more.
But of course, but if she makes me wait till date 5, chances are she made most guys wait that long too.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
I'm ugly. I have to wait 5 days for the other guys to get first date. Yes, I don't think that's likely.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying not every relationship's different. It's the same. Sometimes you meet a girl and you fuck right away, and then you date for fucking 2 years. Sometimes you meet a girl, you don't fuck for a month, and then you date for 3 years.
Really,
you can tell if a girl's a slut or not.
You cannot tell if a girl's a slut.
Yes, you can tell.
Really, the only thing, like, as the older I get, like, relationship viability and history is probably the most, like, tenable thing to me. If she's 35 and she's never really been in a relationship or had, like, a couple that were 6 months, a year, whatever, if you're 35 and you had one that was 10 years, that's a big difference to me. Yeah, like if you've been in and out of relationships, I'm kind of discarding you at that point because there's a reason for that. And it's whether it's your partners or you, either way, you chose those partners, you got a bad picker, it's on you too. Yeah. So, either way, that is going to be way more important than anything. So she's like, look, yeah, I want to get fucked on the ass in the first date, but like I've just been in a 15-year marriage. He never fucked me in the ass. I've just been craving to get fucked in the ass. He's just asked for it. I've been probably like, all right, cool, And I wouldn't discard her at all. So those things, the predecessor things matter more.
I don't disagree with anything you just said.
Well, in that scenario that you presented, it sounds better.
I don't.
It does.
I don't disagree with anything you just said. All I do disagree with is just because a girl made you wait.
No, yeah, Paul. That's
does not mean she made the other guys wait. It doesn't mean anything.
More likely,
and the reverse is also true. Just because she fucked you on date 1, she might really like you. Maybe she didn't fuck the other guys on date 1.
If she really liked me, she wouldn't give it up so easy because she wouldn't want me to think that she's a slut.
That's not fucking true.
But Paul, what if the scenario is that she's let all these other guys fuck her in the ass on date 1, but she's like, now I'm trying to change my ways because I can't be fucking guys on the first date getting fucked in the ass. So then she makes wait till date 5, but the others she hadn't,
So she changed. She's changing her colors.
Yeah,
now,
I'm fucking.
I'm in the picture.
My shit's prolapsed. I need to take a break. Wait till day 5.
Shit's all destroyed.
Basically, I think
Akim frozen. I think we lost Akim there.
I'm still here, but
I think so.
Okay.
I think,
but for some reason my camera, I have no idea what's going on. I got a call that interrupted everything.
Oh, okay.
I think the answer we've finally come around to is it's fucking irrelevant if she fucks you on the first date or the 5th date. You'll never. It's not indicative of what she did before you.
I agree with that 100%. Yeah.
Is Paul frozen now?
No, I'm good. I was just
frozen.
I was just processing that.
Cogs are turning a little slow these days.
Paul thinks he could judge a woman's behavior based on the behavior with you. Yeah. What I'm saying to you is, let's say you met
trust him though.
Can I tell you? Can I tell you something, Paul?
Right.
What if you met somebody, and they were like on the first date? She's like, "You're the best I've ever. You're incredible. I saw you on the podcast. I've had a thing for you. I want to suck your dick."
She's like, this is so unrealistic, but I'll go along with it.
Beyond the realm of any possibility.
But does that mean that she sucked everybody else's dick?
Okay, be honest with you.
Probably yes. I would think so. Yes.
I got one for you. It all depends on the age of that woman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's what Iain said too.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I've been saying all along.
Yeah,
Is that
it all depends
it's
on the
different
age.
when you're dating at 20 versus 40.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, she's 40. It's way different for sure.
Yeah, it is.
But that's what
now.
I'm trying to tell Paul. Because
If she's 19, then you're fucked. Yeah.
Would you not agree though that you can tell if a girl's a slut or not by the first time you have sex with her?
No,
I think so.
No.
you can't.
I think I can. Because
You can.
you can, right, Akim? Yeah, exactly.
Yes, you can.
Well, he's got somebody to agree with him. He's like, see? Okay.
Unless she's holding back.
Tell me.
If she's not holding back.
Hold on.
No, I've had sex with some
know.
girls that seem so innocent and like as if it was like their first time, and then there are girls that have fucked like 150 guys, 200 guys, 300 guys.
Yeah.
But
Paul,
there's
Paul,
no way a nice girl fucks good.
Paul, tell me your
Nice girl.
Oh,
On
so
the first
basically, okay. So basically, you're saying if you fuck a girl and she's really great,
She's a whore.
Okay, now by great though, what I mean is like this girl's doing everything, you know?
Yes.
yeah,
Maybe
That's
she's
fine.
just a sexual person. She hasn't done much, so she's excited to be exploring it, Paul.
Okay, where do you draw that line? Ian? Like, what about ATM? If she's doing ATM on the first date, you think that she's not a slut?
No, we're not.
I don't know.
Like I just saw it in this video one time. That's all.
He doesn't even know what ATM stands for. He just knows it's bad, you know?
I know what ATM stands for.
Okay, Akim, I want your reasoning. If you meet a girl, you really like her, you take her home, you guys end up fucking, and it ends up being amazing.
Amazing as in what though?
Like she does whatever
Like
you
filthy?
want. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
filthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by what's amazing. You fucking kiss.
Well, I thought you meant a
I'm
connection or
talking
something.
about
I don't know. I want to be
She's a
clear.
good
I want to
kisser,
be clear.
Fouad.
That's all.
No, I'm talking about fucking and doing everything.
Okay,
You
good.
sucked your toes, Paul.
So she does everything you want. You think she's a slut?
No. Depends on her age.
Yeah.
Again, depends on your. What about Paul? Paul, does it depend on age or just a slut?
No, if she's doing ATM, I don't care if she's 45 years old. She's probably a slut.
But
Like,
then this is why this is the
like, you gotta-
context of what I said, Paul, of like if she was like, hey, I've just been a 20-year marriage. You know, I got married when I'm 18. I'm fucking 38 now,
okay.
40 now. I just
I
got
get
out of a
that.
marriage. I haven't been fucked in 20 years. My husband didn't fuck me for the last 7 years of our marriage. I want you to fuck me ass and then fucking come in my mouth. And you're
get
like,
it.
she's a whore?
No, I think she'd be. Well,
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. No. Yes. I think a girl who was trying to earn your respect at least, if that's what she's trying to do.
I think it is different with age, though. I agree with him 100%.
She's going to hold a couple things back. She's not going to give you the whole
No, I disagree.
fucking,
Paul,
the whole playbook.
Paul, she's been married for 20 years, Paul. You think she's going to hold anything back from that?
No,
Can I ask-
At least for a couple months.
no, she's
Can I
like,
ask-
there's
for
a couple months. What the
Oh.
fuck, bro?
Can I ask you something?
I got a busy life. A couple months could mean 3 dates.
Can
Oh
I
my
ask you
God.
something? Oh my! Nobody's gonna.
This guy's spending 2 hours on the podcast every week, and you can't go on fucking a date. And
No,
fuck a
he's
girl
like,
in the
I get a
ass, you
busy
know?
life.
Make time. I make
Paul,
time
if
for
you
certain
text us
things.
anytime saying I got to go fuck in the ass, we will excuse you from the podcast. You know?
Okay, I have a question. What if the girl has just done all these things in the 20-year marriage, so it's normal for her?
Yeah,
Well, she's married to the guy. She should.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But then now it's normal for her. So
that's
she
just her
meets-
normal now.
She meets you.
Likes it.
You guys aren't gonna fuck because it just ends up there. You go to dinner, you end up watching a movie, like Akim said, maybe 3 movies, and then you end up in bed. And you start with missionary, and somehow it ends up your dick's in her ass and then her mouth. Are you gonna be
This
like,
happens. Yeah.
yeah? Are you gonna be like, oh, you're a whore?
I would probably have a conversation with her the next day.
What's
What would
funny
the
too,
con-
Paul?
Wait. What would the conversation be? I want to know what the conversation would be.
So, is this something you do? Like,
Let's role play.
guys?
Let's role play. Tell
Okay,
me.
so you're
Hey,
like,
Fouad, you act a girl. Say
Okay,
you talk as
tell
the girl.
Tell me.
So
Good
we just did some things last night. These things we did are these things that you normally do with somebody.
I don't know what you mean, Paul. What are you talking about?
Well, specifically the anal and the ATM. Is
Yeah,
that something that you just do with guys, or is my special?
I've had anal before. Yeah, it's not new.
What about the ATM part?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm 45 years old. What do you think? You're the first person I fucked?
No. But I mean,
Well, these are stupid questions. Why would you ask me this?
Well, because it's
Do you
something that's been on my mind.
do you not trust me? Like, what are you? Think I've become kind of whore? What's wrong
I
with
don't
you?
want to hold things in. I want to be open if this is
You
going
know
to go
what?
somewhere.
I don't think I want to go with you again. This is fucking crazy.
Well,
You're
calm
insane.
down, calm down.
You're absolutely insane.
That was
I
good.
Like-
want you to leave.
You
Calm
seem
down.
like a very controlling human being.
I'm not curious, man. I'm not controlling at all.
So
just wanna get to know
what
you.
the girl would say, be like, what would it matter if I did? You know? What's your answer there? It's just like, yeah, like I this is stuff I do. I like getting fucking dick in my mouth after my ass. Is there a problem?
Yeah, there kind of is. Yeah. How many guys have done this to you? I don't want to be.
Oh, see, but if you ask that, now you're out.
I don't be making out with,
you don't want to be making out with what?
A girl's got fucking.
What's funny, Paul, is that the whole funny thing about this is one of the girl I ever went ass to mouth with was the most innocent girl I've ever been with by far. Like had barely slept with any guys, and on like the third time I hung out with her, I fucked her in the ass and then put it in her mouth, and I was like shocked that it happened because of who she was, but she did it. So like it didn't necessarily reflect that she was a fucking freaky whore. Like she'd fucked like 2 guys.
Paul thinks he can tell.
Yeah.
Now, if it was something like the scenario was something like, you go back to the crib, you have a roommate, and all of a sudden you end up sleeping, you and your roommate end up sleeping with the girl, then I would say she's a whore.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But if it's just you one-on-one, then I'll be like,
Well, Lee Priest says, why would you pass? She's offered a pussy and done blowjobs to guys on the first date. So what's the difference of the arse?
Yeah, not much.
That's off limit.
Fashion.
It's taboo for you still.
No, maybe just you're right. I probably am a little bit sexist. Maybe I
was like she didn't prep. She didn't prep yet.
What's the number?
Did you prep?
What's the number of bodies that you would say is too much when talking to someone and deciding to date them or not? What the fuck?
But this is going to go back to like this is going to be so age contingent too.
Lee Priest says it's a past. Get over your ego, etc. It doesn't matter how many she's been with.
It does.
That's the most progressive thing.
Yeah, I don't agree with that because I think there is like pretty indicative like data on success in relationships and how many partners a girl has.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. The more partners a woman, and this is a funny thing, is it doesn't apply to men. So
it doesn't. It's like oxytocin.
Your sexism actually applies here, Paul.
Yeah.
The studies they did actually show that women, the more partners a woman has, the more likely she is to get divorced.
Yeah, because it's like a pair bonding oxytocin release thing where women have like more of a love connection to sex just naturally than men do. And they start to get desensitized to that the more free sex that they have. So then partner binding becomes more difficult for them, where men, we don't have that.
All right, so let's go back. What's the number, Paul?
That would be acceptable for a man or woman.
No, for you. Like if you were dating a chick.
For a man. If you're going to go fuck a man, Paul.
Sorry, I thought it was just a general question. Like, okay.
No, I'm saying for you. If a girl came
at a woman close to your age, we'll say like a 45-year-old woman.
Listen, okay. You meet a woman. You're out on date number 6.
Mm-hmm.
You've already fucked her in the ass.
and then put it in her mouth afterwards.
And then you say to her.
Not made out with her, though.
And then you say to her, I'm kind of curious. How many guys have you been with? What's the number? What's the number where you would get in your car and leave?
At 45 now, has she been married before?
Yes.
She was married for 7 years once.
7 years. Okay. So I imagine they were probably
been single for the past 4.
Yeah. And she went to college.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Away to school, to college, or stayed home?
That matters.
College.
It does.
That matters, Paul.
That matters.
You rack up the numbers in college.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's where you do your experimenting.
But that was also 25 years ago, so it doesn't really matter now to a point. So let's see.
To a certain extent.
Yeah, like what if she was? Listen, what about this scenario? What if she says to you, you say to her, "How many people have you fucked?" And she goes, "I fucked 30 in college, but then I've only fucked 2 since."
So she went through a slut stage, eh?
25 years ago.
30 is a lot, though.
And out of those 30, 3 of them were at the same time.
No, I can't have anything.
She had the whole basketball team.
I can't have anyone that's been in a gangbang or a bukkake or anything. No way. Fucking hold their hand in the mall after that. No way. No way. No, that would definitely. The numbers, okay, maybe you convinced me on some of the numbers. 30 is a bit high, especially for average 4-year college career.
But it was 15 years ago, 20 years ago. She got out of college at 25 years old.
And it's only been 2 since.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a lot of dick. That's 7 dicks a year on average, at least. That's like every.
But Paul, then you have a 25-year period with only 2. She was in a successful, well, not successful because she's divorced.
Doesn't go back though, Ian.
A relationship that lasted for a long time.
Paul's worried about us being stretched out.
Pussy beat up. That's a lot of.
No, but you've been with her, Paul, and you've slept with her, and her pussy's not beat up.
What happens if it was 30 over the past 20 years?
Yeah, 30, 20 years. So you're so one a year, a little bit more than 1 year.
She had like 15 in her high school and college career, and then 2 dudes for, like the marriage with the one dude, and then broke up because of another, and then
had like one a year after that.
So 30 and 15 years.
You know what? Just tell me the number that is going to be off.
Yeah, just give an answer,
10.
Paul.
Yeah.
10.
I think for a 45-year-old, 10's.
Oh my god!
Between 10.
That's
okay,
so low, bro.
Maybe that is a little low.
You better not get divorced.
Good luck.
You're not going to find a 10.
You're never going to find a 10.
Okay,
No.
So 45 years old. You said 7-year marriage, so 38. Assuming she started fucking around 18 or so 20-year fucking.
Well, no, see, she had
You probably started fucking at 14.
I could push that number higher. I could go
high?
like
How
15
high?
to 20. 15 to 20 max. 20 max. No more than 20.
Okay, 20 is good. That's good. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I would probably go, depending on the connection with the girl, I might be a little more lenient.
Yeah, Fouad's going into
would
the
you go?
fucking
You going 30, 40?
digits.
I'd probably go to 67. No, I'm just joking.
Now, what are we counting here? Is this all straight?
Honestly, this is the thing. Number one, I wouldn't put a lot of stock in it if I did ask, because people usually tend to not tell the full truth.
Yeah.
Secondly, if I did ask and we got into it for fun, it would really depend how it happened.
Yeah.
If she was at 30 and there was like, maybe there was a couple years where she had a fucking party phase or something, I'd be like, whatever, I don't give a fuck.
Okay. How about this? Let's say you start dating this girl and you're dating her for a couple of years now, you're invested, and then you see someone that you haven't seen in a long time that knows her from the past, and he pulls you aside and he's like, got a lot of dick. What would you say then?
Okay, hold on. I'm curious. Hold on.
I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. First of all. Okay, let's say it happens. Let's say it happens. I'm curious. How long have I been with this girl? 2 years, you said?
Yeah, let's say 2 years.
I'm not gonna.
So
nothing
doesn't matter then.
It's not gonna. It's gonna bother you.
It'll bother me for a day or two.
But it's not gonna change anything.
No,
just for it. I don't think you'll get over it.
I will get over it.
Yeah,
I think so.
I would.
You've been with this person for
it's not going to be your. But then you're like, okay,
years.
well, how many's a lot of dicks? Like, what was she doing?
Well, I'll talk to her about it.
You're not going to get a real answer.
But I've been married to her I've been with her for 2 years. I'm just going to be like, oh, you had a lot of dick. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I mean,
if it's the third date and I walk into the movies and like Joe Blow walks up and he's like, hey, she's fucked like 18 million fucking dudes, I'd be like, okay, I'm leaving. But like 2 years in, what are you going to do?
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah,
I wouldn't.
Couple months.
Couple
how
months.
many dicks and how like legitimate is
your buddy doesn't say specifically, he just tells you, I know that girl, she's been around, she's had a lot of dick.
You got to take that with a grain of salt.
How awesome is my relationship?
Well, you're 2 months in. How great can it be?
But how awesome is it can be great. 2 months can be great. You can be like fucking amazing.
But you're in the honeymoon phase at that point still.
Listen, if my 2 months is absolutely incredible and she's the girl of my dreams, then I'm going to try it
Do
out
you
for
know
myself.
if it's the girl of your dreams after 2 months?
It depends on how attractive she is, man.
Yeah,
well, that's what I'm saying. I said the girl of my dreams. I said it depends.
If she's like a soft 7 or like 6.5, I'm letting it go. If she's like a 10, I'm like, fine, I don't care if it's 1,000.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for Hannah and I, like Hannah's 10 years younger than me. So like for her and I, like we never discussed it. Like it never came up. And I never wanted to bring it up because I never wanted to put the pressure on the situation, because I had 2 kids and went to college and then was a single guy for about a year and a half and was
He's
just
out there laying pipe, eh?
That's
no,
just
not laying pipe.
raw dogging it everywhere.
You guys don't say that. But it's that thing where it's kind of like, why even bring it up? Because like my past is like, I was a fucking mess for a while. You know what I mean? Like crazy college time. So I'm like, she was just in college and she went to the same college I did, and it was pretty fucking crazy. I'm gonna say.
So let me ask you. So Seth, you've never asked her. You guys have never talked about that.
I have. Yeah.
Okay. So Paul, let me ask you. He's never asked her, and he's married to her, and they have a kid together, and she's obviously the stepmom of his other kids.
7 years. Yeah.
And if she came to him tomorrow and said, "I slept with 100 dudes," do you think he's gonna? Do you think he's gonna leave?
I don't know. You have to ask Seth that question.
Would you leave?
Would I?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't leave. I'm not. You got 2 kids and everything like that. But I tell you, it would probably change the dynamics a little bit.
Really?
Oh
No, the bad
I'm still here.
This is like a nightly thing now, eh?
I'm still here. Fuck
We're
off.
gonna get the bad camera.
Yes.
Oh man.
It's weird.
Well, I wanted to show my trophies here. Wait,
I got a lot more.
fuck you. It's an easier era for you. Anyways,
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, okay. Well, I think it's interesting that you've never asked, but I guess the point of that, Paul, is it really fucking doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Might matter.
Paul,
but at that point, it doesn't matter.
Which scenario are we talking
about? That scenario wouldn't matter at all.
Scenario?
I'm talking about Seth. I'm talking about Seth.
Oh,
scenario.
yeah. Sorry. No, that doesn't matter. No,
what I'm saying to you is he's married. He's got a child with her. They're completely fucking happy. Let's say she slept with 1,000 guys. He doesn't have any fucking idea. They're just happy.
Yeah, no, I know. I wasn't sure which scenario you're talking about. That's
I know, but that's what I'm saying is like it kind of is irrelevant at some point.
That's why I don't ask the question.
I know, but you're
because I'm not going to believe the answer anyways.
But you're judging them based on their sexual performance, which is horrible.
I think I can.
So basically, okay. But you know what that does? You know what that sets you up
Nostradamus
for?
Over
Wait
here,
a minute.
yeah.
You know what that sets you up for, though, right?
What?
You meet a girl, she makes you wait 5 days, and then you fuck her, and it's horrible, and you're like, oh, she's the one.
There's a happy medium.
There's got to be some potential in there.
There's got to be none because she's terrible.
There's got to be some potential there, though. That
What if she's just a starfish and she fucked 100 guys before you?
Yeah, we've all, I'm sure, been with girls that have fucked 1 million guys that were terrible and just lay there, and then we've been with girls that have fucked no dudes that were amazing. It means nothing, you know. Some girls are just like more into it and than others, and like more out there with it and more sexual, even if they haven't had a sexual past, you know.
Oh, okay. We've been on for like 2.5 hours. We're gonna wrap it there. I think is a interesting relationship conversation. We got a lot of good.
We got through 2 questions. They were good.
Yeah,
a lot of good.
Probably helped a lot of people.
I don't know about that, Paul, but
oh my God, Paul, lead us off with a prayer.
Maybe Akim wants to tonight as our special guest.
No, it's your job.
Akim, you didn't know this, but we say a prayer at the end of every podcast.
Yeah, I say a prayer and you guys laugh.
Well, because there's shit. Because these shit prayers, you don't know how to say a prayer for fuck's sake.
Well, tonight actually. Okay,
you got something written out? Okay, go ahead.
Well, I have a special prayer tonight.
Okay, go ahead.
Dear leader, let us bow our heads.
Okay.
Here it comes. The heavens are shining on me. You got the lighting for it.
Just go ahead.
Well, tonight I'd like to dedicate my prayer to our friend Mike, who is going through an unfortunate loss recently.
Better not fuck this up.
Well, he sent me to say this, so I can't. It's on Mike.
Okay.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and I realize there's not much left.
I know this song
because I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mom thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed a man that doesn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk, that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking and where you're walking, or you and your homies might be lying in chalk. I really hate to trip, but I gotta lock. As I croak, I see myself in the pistol smoke. Fool. I'm the kind of G that little homies want to be like, on my knees in the night, saying prayers in the streetlight. That's
beautiful, Paul.
That's beautiful.
Amen.
Amen.
Awesome.
See you guys next week.
All right. See you
boys.
guys.
Good night.
All right. Good night.